Hello, everyone. How's everybody's Friday going? Well, let's do some locational shout outs. London, South Africa. Awesome.
Colombia.
Colombia, Italy, UK. Whoa, all the way from Wisconsin.
Pretty close to you.
Hey, Joan. Yeah.
Vancouver, ooh, where our next 3D base camp will be.
Oh, it'll be a close for you. Easy travel, easy commute. Poland. Love it. It's awesome. I was just talking on the forums to Box today, and Box is in Australia, and he apologized. Said, I'm sorry I haven't been on any live streams yet, but it's 4 a.m. when you start. And I said, totally acceptable. I wouldn't stay up till 4 a.m. for me, so I don't blame anybody else for skipping out. All right. Boy, India, Maine, Texas, Cameroon.
Bolivia. Ooh.
Wow. This is like we got a little SketchUp UN thing going on here.
Yeah, this is great.
Someone from everywhere. All right, first question. Can everybody hear? Does everything sound good? I need a thumbs up or a yes from every channel. So if I can get a YouTuber to say yes, and a Facebooker to say yes, and a Twitcher to say yes that they can hear, that would be awesome.
YouTube, yes.
All right.
Let's see.
Woohoo! 1 down, 2 to go. Ah, awesome. Green, across the board.
Nice.
All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna go push some buttons over here and see what happens. All right, welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody's Friday is going well. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. Yeah, I did my best to. You guys have been around for a little while, know that we used to do this with Matt, who is he's actually on right now, so I'm gonna make him blush. Our video Superman, he would set all this stuff up for us. I would just walk in, plug my laptop in, talk a couple times so we could check levels, and we'd be going. Now I have to come in here 2 hours before and set up all the stuff Matt did, and I miss Matt.
We all miss him.
Yeah, and then I managed to accidentally break YouTube streaming, so I don't know what I did. I did something so it stopped streaming to YouTube for about an hour, but it's back running now, so that's the important part. Awesome. So, hope everybody's doing good. This is going to be fun. We're going to do some stuff now. Today, we're going to talk about furniture. It's a pretty broad topic, so I'm going to need your help. Furniture can be actually. So here, let me just show you this because this is. I did my research, and I went in here. And I searched furniture on Google, and it turns out there's lots of pictures of furniture up on Google. Apparently beds and couches, those are furnitures, tables. There's lots of things that qualify as being furniture. So what I need you guys to give me some input is to what type of furniture we should do. My thought was kind of a woodworking thing, and I don't know if you guys saw the thumbnails. We grabbed some cool shots of some different types of furniture, some stuff that was like wardrobe or desk, something with some ornamental woodwork on it. That was kind of the direction I was thinking, but I wanted to hear what you guys think. Honestly, my furniture tastes are pretty simple. IKEA works fine for me. Actually, most of my furniture I think was handed down, and I don't even know when or where it's from. I got some particle board in my house, though, I admit. So, yeah. So I need you guys to throw some stuff out there. What should we look at? And we can do, we got 3 hours here, 3.5 hours, so we could actually potentially do a couple different pieces. That would not be out of the realm of possibility. So we have one recommendation for sofas and cushions. It's hard to make them look realistic. All right, that's something we could look into.
Looks like
Tuck-
cabinets too.
Cabinets, all right.
And a
Cabinetry.
recliner. Ooh. I would
Roll
love to-
top desk.
That would be
Ooh.
hard.
I like that. That sounds like a fun one. That sounds good. Not that there's anything wrong with the the sofa and stuff. That's good too. Curved sofa for living room. All right, so we'll keep bringing the comments in. But what I'm kind of thinking of is maybe we split it, or we do some kind of contemporary furniture. That's cool. I'm sorry, apparently talking and reading is beyond me. So,
I'll
but-
read, you talk.
yeah.
How's that?
So I'm kind of thinking, that helps a lot. I'm kind of thinking what we end up doing is we go for two pieces. Maybe we do a furniture, like you're saying, with maybe a curve in it, maybe an L-wing, L-shaped sofa that goes around a turn on the edge. Something like that would be one thing. And then we could also do something like a roll top desk, maybe model some drawers as separate pieces. That would be kind of fun. We got another vote for roll top desk, so I mean, I assume that's pretty close to 100% buy-in from where I'm at. Okay, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna do a sofa and a roll top desk. So we'll start there. We'll put sofa into the Google and see what happens. We want an L-shaped, right? So we'll add L-shape. Yeah, these are definitely all sofas. I hear what you're saying though. You're saying like kind of round. It's the thing about a lot of sofas is they're kind of end up being sectional and modular, so you can actually take advantage of components. We'll do that. We'll actually make some pieces and have them repeat on multiple sides. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop in with that. I'm gonna start there. I'm gonna yell out some sizes. I don't know, it's one of those things, right? I probably sit on a sofa about once a day, maybe twice a day, maybe 2-3 sofas in some days when I'm really lucky. But I never really think about how big it is. How high off the floor is the sofa seat? How deep is it? How wide is it? So you guys might have to help me out with some sizes here. All right, so what I would do, this would be, of course, standard SketchUp disclaimer. There's a dozen different ways to do anything in SketchUp. So I'm gonna do my best to show you a bunch of different techniques on how you could go about making some of these things. But it's of course not the only way to do it. There's, like I always say, there's probably a dozen different ways to do anything in SketchUp. This is just what we're gonna start with. So I'm gonna start by drawing on the ground. I'm just gonna kind of draw a shape to kind of rough out what I'm thinking. Something like this. Copy this over and rotate it 90 degrees.
Ooh, Anita Brown said, just type in average sofa size into Google.
That is a great point, Anita. We'll do that. All right, so I'm kind of thinking a sofa in 3 pieces, something along these lines, where maybe this will be these 2 sections will repeat. This will actually be components. They'll be the same pieces. Maybe they'll have 2 or 3 cushions each, and then there'll be mirrors of each other. So there'll be an armrest on this side, armrest on this side. This section back here will actually turn into an arc. We'll put an arc right here and have it be rounded, and we'll tie the 3 pieces together. So that's what I'm thinking. That's where we'll start. We'll see how it goes from here. So I'm going to start by getting my arc in here because, and actually I want to get this like a perfect circle here. So I'm going to, rather than using the standard arc, I'm going to come up here and, rather than using the 2-point arc, which is the default, I'm going to use the standard arc. I'm going to inference this point and just do a perfect arc like that. And then I'm going to use that command again to grab those same points and again do that arc. So that's my middle section. All right. I'm gonna double click right here and I'm gonna start by making that a component. I'm gonna double click over here, make this a component as well. And I'm gonna call this my side section. And, because I wanna try to do things a little different than my standard workflow, I'm gonna save. So I'm gonna come up here and save this to my desktop as, think outside the box, I'm gonna call it sofa.
Nice.
Yeah, I try. All right, so that means I'm gonna get rid of this over here. I'm gonna take this piece and make a copy. Now, I wanna be very conscious of how I make a copy because I will have to rotate 90 degrees. This is one of those things where, like, do I just leave it and show how I'm doing it wrong later? I'm kind of thinking maybe that's what I'll do. So I just copied this and threw it over here, but watch what happens once we start actually putting geometry on here. We're gonna realize that this is not gonna work so well. All right, so I'm gonna hop back to Google. I'm gonna type.
Somebody wants you to render this later. What do you think about that?
I don't actually have a renderer on 2019 right now. We've talked about that before. Somebody actually asked if we would do an entire live session dedicated to rendering, and I don't do a whole lot of rendering myself, so I'm not a great person to do it. I'm all for learning things and that kind of thing, but
Might be a little tricky.
it would be okay, but sitting and watching a renderer run is just boring. There's a reason that people outsource this, and we could maybe what we'll do is we'll hook up at some point with a live renderer. Something like Epic or Twinmotion or something like that. Maybe we'll do something like that and do some live rendering at some point in the future. I'll try to get, I used to have a seat of a renderer. I'll grab that, maybe reactivate it for 19 and do a little bit of, we just do some quick renders, something like that. But right now, today, I'm not gonna offer to do that because I don't think my copy of Thea that I have is even licensed on 2019, so. Good idea, but no. No, maybe. Good idea, but maybe. That's where I'll leave that. Okay, so here are some dimensions, and that is what they are. They are dimensions. I'm not going to claim anything more than that. So this is saying about 16 inches to the seat. And I don't know, these might be a specific size to a specific sofa, or these might be generic. I'm going to go ahead and just use this as a good reference. So I'm gonna say the bottom section is about 9.5 inches tall. That seems about right. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna push this up 9.5. I'm gonna double click into this one, double click, whoops, bring it up instead of down. All right, so got our sofa started. Now I'm gonna double click in here and I'm gonna double click or triple click this because I'm gonna make this a separate component inside the component. As I go through and build this, there's actually gonna be separate pieces that make this up. So depending on how I put the whole thing together, cushions might be separate, the arm might be separate from the seat, separate from the back. I'm gonna wanna have control over how that geometry grows and how it, because you know, SketchUp is gonna try to stick together whatever geometry connects. So I'm gonna do my best to isolate these until there's such a point where I want them to join together. So I'm gonna take this one, I'm just gonna say make component, and I'm gonna call it the bottom of side. It's like secret code. I know what it means. All right, so that's what that's gonna be for right now. Let's check my dimensions again. So the overall height up the back is about 28 some inches, minus 1.5 inches or so for legs. So I'm just gonna draw a reference line here and I'm gonna go up 28 and I'm gonna draw a rectangle on top of this piece. That is, oh, you know what? This doesn't really make sense because I didn't actually set a size for any of this other stuff. Got a little ahead of myself. So if we are gonna look at this So this was, I'm gonna call this 30 inches. I'm rounding. I'm gonna say that this whole thing is 30 inches from here to here. So I'm gonna scale my whole drawing right now. Grab tape measure, tell it from here to here is 30 inches. Yes, I want to resize. You can see that made this a little bit small. The other thing, well, so what I actually want this to be, so this was supposed to be 9.5 inches, so I'm gonna draw another line, 9.5. See, I'm a little shy of that, so come in here and pull that up to that reference point. Oh, scale, making things right. That's
So boring, right?
I know. I like the Wild West. I like winging it. All right, anyhow. All right, so there we go. So now we got this the right size that way. Length this way. Again, I just kind of arbitrarily made something a certain length. So this says it's about 6 feet. I have it at 4'9". Let's go ahead and make it an even 5 foot. And I will come in here and pull this out to here.
By the way, Anita says she has a lot of practice in rendering, so if we need any help, she's here.
All right, I got backup. All right, so now we want to go here and go up, what did I say, 28 inches? That's how big the back of our couch should be. So I'm going to draw a rectangle now that is 5 feet by, here's what I want to think about. How deep is a seat? A seat is about 25.5 inches. So if I come here, and I'm drawing outside my group, so I'm actually drawing lines sitting on top of the group right now. So just to kind of, so I have all these reference lines sitting around outside. What I can do once it's time to clean up, I can just temporarily like hide my actual groups and get rid of all these free standing lines, or I could use something like clean up and get rid of those lines, but I'm intentionally drawing outside of my container because I want to just create these lines for reference. So if I make this 25, I already forgot what I said, 25.5, 25.5, that's right there. All right, so if I draw a rectangle like this and bring that straight up to here, that's the back of my couch. Triple click, make that a new component. I'm going to call that the side back, or back of side. I say bottom of side before. I think I said, see, secret code, not even I know.
Are you going to remember these
Nope.
after you finish?
Nope, but I got Outliner. Outliner will back me up. So
There you go.
if I come in here, now I can actually just get rid of my extra lines. Something's going down lower. Okay, so there's my back. One more piece is my arm. So how tall is an arm? That's about 24 inches. So say 4 inches down from here. So I'm gonna come down 4, and then I'll draw a rectangle like this. And how wide was this? This was 4.5 inches. So I'll pull this through 4.5. Triple click, make that a new component, and arm. There's no arms on the middle section, so I don't have to say that's part of the side. All right, so there we go. Now, you can see, if I come all the way out here, this is the issue I was talking about. I just grabbed that rectangle, I plopped it over here. Obviously, this is not gonna work real well. Well, I mean, actually, I've seen stupider looking sofas. This could actually work. People here face this way, people here face this way. Maybe this is like in a lounge or a public place meant to encourage, you know, I don't know.
Oh, Steven says, save please.
Ah, dang. Good call, Steven. You know me so well.
He does.
All right, so we got to flip. So a couple things have to happen here. One is I'm going to use move. When you use move, you get these little rotate keys. So I'm going to just grab this plus right here and flip it around 90 degrees or 180 degrees. It'll snap right there. And then I'm going to use scale. Scale, I'm going to hold down the modifier key option and just scale it to -1. Now that is the same component, so if I come in here and I start moving stuff around, you can see those two components work together. So I'm good there. All right, now everything's wonderful. One more piece here, I gotta get it back. Looks like something's not quite lined up. I think that was all me. Everything else looks good. Everybody else lined up? Yeah. All right, so here, I want to do the same kind of thing, but I also want to keep. So what I'm thinking right now is taking this and then offsetting from here to here, and then just pulling that up. If I do that right now, this is monolithic. This is all one big piece. So what I can do is I can actually double click this. That's going to get this surface and the lines around it. I can right click and make that a component, and I can say that is the back of the middle. And I can triple click what's left and make that a new component and call that bottom of middle. I don't know if there's such things as professional sofa makers and terminology for said sofa makers, but I'm sure these pieces have real names.
I like bottom of middle. Very creative.
Duh, never heard of that. All right, so I'm gonna click into this bottom section and get it cleaned up. I can see that, well, maybe I'll go this way. That's actually not gonna, I'm gonna just hide it temporarily. Come into this group, pull it up. Oop! That offset, something happened. It broke my geometry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab everything and then, yeah, I'm just gonna hit weld on that and see if that welds it all together. So at this point, I'm gonna do this too. Oh, I have my shortcut key to hide everything else. So if I look at this welded so all the walls are separate, or all the lines are connected. So if I want to break it, I can just redraw over the end lines like this. And that will actually break. Didn't work, I lied. If I draw lines like this, will it break it? There we go. To break that curve, because right now it's one continuous curve. So I draw those extra lines out there to break it, because I do, at this point, as I pull this up, I do want a sharp corner here and here. Not sure what happened there. All right, so I can unhide everything else, and I can pull that up to the same height. All right, now I can also come in here and edit, unhide that bottom piece I just hid. All right, so now I have my basic section. So these are the initial pieces of the sofa. So right now is where I'd make the decision of how much I want these pieces to be separate or joined together. If I wanted this to all be one piece, I could come in right now, grab all three of these, right click, and explode them. And that's just gonna give me one big piece that is the outside of the sofa. Depending what you're doing with this, that might be the ideal solution. I might want to actually break it like that. If you're actually going to do any kind of fabrication, or these parts are actually separate and have to be connected, something like that, then you want to keep them as separate pieces. For what we're doing, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to explode it and let it all join together, clean it up a little bit like this, so it all looks like one piece. And I'm actually going to push this back in. Do we have a... I'm going to do this because, you know, I'm pretending to be a furniture designer. I'm pretending I know what I'm doing. I'm going to push that back 4.5 inches and get kind of that sort of thing going.
Fake it till you make it, right?
That's right. The job offers are going to pour in. I can you know, all those big furniture manufacturers can be like, "Oh, come make us a signature sofa."
Exactly.
All right. That looks good, so I'm going to save. Beat you to the punch that time, Steven. And now what I need to do, so just throw the disclaimer. I know everything, I got hard edges on everything. We're going to talk about using the extension round corner to round these over in just a few minutes. First, I'm going to come in and get some cushions in here. I'm going to use a line on this. So I'm actually inside my component. So again, my outermost component is the whole thing. So I'm going to click in there once. I'm going to triple click. This is all my merged geometry. I'm going to right click and say make it a new component. And I'm going to call it the side main. I guess. And now I need to make a base for where my cushion's going to be. So I'm going to say, I'm going to go in the middle. And I'm going to draw a line straight back. And I'm just going to make a rectangle like that. And I'm going to pull that up 4.75 inches. And I'm going to triple click, make that a component, and I'm going to call that side cushion 1. So that's one cushion. My other cushion is going to be a little bit different shape because I'm going to use, again, just trace around the existing geometry that is grouped separately, like that. I'm going to push, pull it up to here, triple click. I'm going to make that a new component. I'm going to call that side cushion 2. You guys probably saw that one coming, huh? I know, sometimes I get a little overly creative. All right, that looks okay. Again, we're still blocky, but I know you guys have faith. We'll get that worked out. Next thing is to come in here. So this is a little bit different. It's going to be a little, so I'll do the same thing I did before. First, I'll merge these two geometries. So I'm going to explode, boom, joins together there, and come back here, delete that. If I triple click, all one piece. Make that new component. Middle main. And this is a little bit different because it's going to be hard for me to click to trace this geometry. The other one was really easy. It was a rectangle, click, click, or 4 lines. This is totally doable. I could grab my arc and copy that. I could draw another arc, lines and connect it back up. But instead what I'm doing is I'm just going to grab this surface and Control C. And then click outside of that container. Now I can go to Edit, Paste in Place, and I'll put a copy of that surface outside of the component I was just in. And now I can just push, pull, and drag it up to the cushion height. And triple click, and make that a new component. I'll call that my middle cushion. Just had a question about this video. We do, every time I make these videos live, we do leave them so they will be, it'll be its own video on YouTube, it'll be its own live video on Facebook, and Twitch will hold on to it for 2 weeks. So if you do have to drop out, MK Music is asking, you can come back later and watch this anytime you like, whenever's most convenient for you. All right, so if I didn't know better, I'd say that was a sofa.
That looks comfy. Maybe a little hard, but
yeah, a little hard-sided right now. That is true. Yeah, somebody asked about posting their work. Absolutely, check out the forum. So our forum, forums.sketchup.com, is, I would call it a vibrant community and a very active community. I've been on a lot of software forums where stuff doesn't happen. Like, literally nothing happens. That's not our forum. Our forum is very active, lots of people posting things, questions, answers. Oh, look, Dave Richards is here. Speaking of forums, he's taking a break from answering every single question on the forum to hang out with us live. Now I feel, and also you guys should know Dave is, he makes furniture, so I'm just gonna turn it over.
Are you nervous now?
Yeah, I just started sweating. Dave's here. No making fun, Dave. Yeah, so yeah, if you do want to ever post work and share it with the community, you can put stuff up there. We have a gallery section on the forum, so you can actually go into SketchUp Gallery and you can post your work, and people, if you want feedback, ask for feedback, input, that sort of thing. There's always more to be learned, and it's a great spot to get input from people. So check out our forum. Dave promised not to pick on me.
Phew.
I'll keep going then.
Alfredo wants to know what plugins you're using. This is native, right?
Nothing so far. So far, we've just been doing native tools. So yeah, nothing yet.
Icon on the top left. I think that's just the eraser.
This
tool.
one? Top left? Yeah, this is all native. This one right here is Follow Me. It's not part of the default toolbar, but I added it. But everything up to here is all native tools. So I just customized and added a few that aren't on the native tool or on the default toolbar that I use a lot. But so far, nothing tricky. Top right. Oh, okay.
Right.
You
I
know,
was like, I think that's the eraser tool.
it's kind of funny because a lot of times, so when I look at the camera, I have a little shot of what I'm seeing over here to this side. But note that, like, I tried to clean up. I spilled on myself earlier. You can see this little light patch right here. It's actually some of my breakfast. But I looked up there, looked at the picture, and I kept going like this to try to wipe it off. So I said all that to say I have sympathy for the left-right thing. So yes, as I look at it, on SketchUp Modeler's right, these are the tools that I find myself using a lot. So the way I generally use SketchUp, I'm using it on Mac, so I do have some limitations as far as what information I can show. Mac doesn't have the nice stacking toolbars that Windows has, so some people in Windows will have 3, 4, 5 toolbars at the top. I can't do that on Mac. I only have this one toolbar. So what I end up doing is putting in the commands I use a lot, which are, these are my native commands I use most often, and then my view options here, and then these are extensions that I use a lot. So, well, most of them are extensions. Actually, one of these isn't. That is push line, which allows you to use kind of like a push-pull on a line to pull a line into a surface. This is just the shadows, checking shadows on and off. This is vertex tools, sub D, and solid inspector from TomTom, and then I have split donut and split sausage from TIG. These are just tools that I end up using a lot in my standard workflow where I go up and click on them. To be honest, a lot of the stuff I do, the shortcuts I have are either mapped to my mouse or over on my 3D mouse, so I don't use these a whole lot anyhow. Most of the time that I use them, it's because I'm doing a video or something like that and I want to say, okay, click section, I come up here and click, show what the section icon looks like. So that's another thing that is nice about SketchUp is you can tailor it however you want. Your UI can be whatever works best for you. All right, well, let's move on. So next thing to get on here is, well, there's a question of cushions, right? So I might have separate cushions on the back here where I might have like, it might be part of the back. I'm gonna say I wanna put actual separate cushions on here. So I'm gonna come in to this group and I'm gonna start with a 4-inch cushion here. I'll pull that up. I'm gonna actually pull it up just past that. So I'm gonna go 2 inches past the back of the couch. And I'm gonna right click and, okay, sorry, I'm distracted because a comment just came up. Callie Draco just said, I wish Windows would collapse automatically like they do on Mac. I'm assuming you're talking about these over here. It's funny because I think this is one of those you want what you can't have things. These little things work okay, but I really wish we had the ability to turn on the tab bar in Mac. I've used it a couple times on Windows, and the way you can customize it and collapse it and pull it back out, it's so nice. And like I said, it's probably just you want what you can't have, but yeah, I've heard several people say they wish they had the tab bars from Mac who are on Windows, and I've heard multiple people on Windows, whatever the opposite of whatever I just said was.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. There we go. And that backwards. So yeah, it's kind of funny. All right, so I'm gonna triple click here. I'm gonna make this a new component, and I'm gonna call this side back cushion 1. or Sedai. And I'm gonna save, because I really am good at that. I'm gonna come over here, use the side of this cushion to just draw the profile of my next cushion, pull it out to the arm, and just because we're gonna make this extra fancy, I'm gonna draw a line right here to break that, and pull this out this way. Ooh, all right. Triple click, make component, side, back, cushion, 2.
So Aaron,
Yes, ma'am.
can't you make your own shortcuts? Customize your shortcuts to your workflow?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's something most people. So toolbars are great, but I think most people end up using shortcuts. So it's nice, especially when you're learning SketchUp. There's nothing that beats an icon that does what you need to do. So a lot of times, if somebody's just learning, I always recommend going to tool palettes, get the large tool set on, whether you're on Mac or Windows, and have all your commonly used native commands right here. Once you get used to it, buttons are nice, and if you have a lot of extensions, I've seen a lot of people with buttons turned on, but you'll probably get used to shortcuts, and that is just assign hotkeys to whatever commands you use most often and just click those. That's really, it's hard to beat that way of working. It's a lot quicker than having to go up and hit buttons all the time. So yeah, shortcut keys really are probably the way to work once you get past the startup phase, the learning phase. There is no version of SketchUp for Linux. I've heard several people ask that, and we actually did a little bit of outreach to Linux users to find out how much they would pay for a version of SketchUp, and the overwhelming majority was they didn't want to pay for it. So maintaining an entire another version didn't kind of bubble up on maintaining a third build of the software for free wasn't a high priority. But having said that, I have heard several people who run on Linux in a visualizer or emulator of some sort. So I don't know much more than that. I can't say anything else about Linux because I just told you like twice as much as I actually know. All right, so I'm going to take this now. Again, kind of like how I made the surface to make the cushion. I'm just going to select this, Control C, click out of that cushion, edit, paste in place, and I'm going to grab this back side, this back line. I'm going to offset it from the back edge to the front edge, and I can actually, oops, grab that, pull it up to here. I'll triple click and make that a new component. I'm going to call this middle back cushion. I keep forgetting my naming scheme as I'm in the middle of making it. All right, so I'm going to click in here and just now get rid of my extra lines. All right, so at that point, in fairly quick order, less than half an hour, we have our initial cushion. And in some cases, this might be enough. So I know right now it looks like it's made of concrete, but let me show you what I mean by, we can kind of cut corners here a little bit. I'm gonna save. So if I wanted some of this to look sharp, but I wanted like the cushions, I want to round over the cushion edges, what could be good enough is to come in here with your eraser and hold down the Alt or Control key and just soften these edges. So in some cases, depending on what you're using this for, because it really all depends on that, that might be good enough. See how I got that kind of rounded edge? It's not good enough for us, but depending on what you're using it for. If this cushion's gonna be, or if this couch is gonna be seen from right here, that's probably enough. I probably don't have to go further and add a whole lot more geometry to this if it's going to be, the size of a thumbnail on a drawing. So I always advocate for modeling for whatever you're actually using. I'm going to undo a few times to get our edges back, and now we're going to actually go in and talk about some extensions. I'm going to go up here to View, Tool Palettes, and I'm going to turn on Fredo Corner it's called now. There it is. And Fredo Corner is an extension from Fredo 6, the extension developer. And what it does is it takes geometry and, well, like it says, it rounds the corners. So natively, this is something you'd probably do with like a follow me tool or something like that, where you take a round profile and use it to subtract from the geometry of the cushion, and that works. But it gets a little more complex when you're looking at things like corners. Like this right here, if I was to do a follow me around this corner, I'd cut that top corner off real nice, but then bringing this corner down and softening that also becomes a little bit more work. So you end up having to delete geometry and maybe draw some new geometry or create a bunch of pieces, stitch them together, or even end up lofting the corner together, something like that. So we're going to keep it simple. I'm going to double click into this cushion. I'm going to hide the rest of my model because I want to work on just this component. I'm going to triple click to grab every edge. So with a cushion, I want to soften every single edge. So with the main couch, there may be parts that I want to keep as nice, hard corners, but the cushion, I actually want to round the whole thing. I'm going to grab it right now, and I'm going to click on, I believe this top one is the full round corner. Yes, it is. I'm going to click round corner. And it's going to ask me now, how far do I want to offset it? Right now I'm offsetting 9 inches. That's too far. So I'm going to try 1 inch offset and see what that looks like. And what Fredo Corner does now is it lets you visualize what's going to get cut off. So my red lines are the actual lines that I selected. That's the most outside part. And the green line is where, when it's rounded, that's where it will continue on to the next plane. So this is the chunk that's going to get cut off. We do have some options in here, number of segments I want to generate. So the more segments I put in there, the softer and rounder that corner is going to be. Right now it's going to do 4 segments. That's fine for, again, for what I'm thinking I'm going to use this model for. That's probably fine. If you know for a fact that you're going to go in and do some high quality renders, if this is like, product visualization, you might want to go for higher than that, but that's your call. There's a bunch of other stuff in here, honestly, that there's so many options that I have a hard time remembering what everything in here does. So if you do want to use Fredo Corner, go ahead and give it a shot and try some of those different buttons and things. Right now, I'm going to go with just the standard default information in a round corner, and I'm going to hit the checkbox.
So we have a couple of questions about leather. Can you add texture like leather to this?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
Short answer, yes. You can add a texture of anything you want to add. So I always recommend, if you can, with something like that, if you can get a seamless texture, it's great, because then you can tile it and resize it to whatever size you want. If you can't get a seamless texture, then getting a texture of an image that is bigger than whatever you want to put it on. So here, if I wanted to make this a leather texture, I'd want to make sure that I had a piece that looks good when it's stretched larger than what this piece is right here. All right, so that rounded the corner is good. I like that. I'm going to go ahead and leave and click out, and I can see what my rounded corners look like. Looks pretty nice. It did, by pulling the corner back, it made it a little bit short here. You can see that, see how I pulled it back there. I'm gonna leave it right now, but we'll talk about what would we do if we wanted to make this hang out a little bit longer, or some different ways we could address that. I'm gonna click into this cushion. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna triple click, and I'm gonna round corner again, and just hit the checkbox, or check mark. Oh, nope, hold on. Undo. Something got, oh, it didn't get ugly. It just didn't get pretty. It was not as pretty as I was expecting. So this is one of those things I was talking about. Manually going through and connecting how these multiple, we keep flipping to offline on my screen.
That's weird. We losing the internet?
Is anybody else, am I disappearing, or is Restream just messing with me? Looks like we're still online everywhere, but
Looks like it.
Restream keeps telling me we're offline. You guys are still talking, so I assume it's not too bad.
According to Twitch, we are good. We are live.
Okay.
And YouTube. I'll See, Facebook up. Facebook's still good too.
All right, I'm just gonna keep going. So this is not the most beautiful here. I'm gonna look at my hidden geometries to see. So it's not bad. It's not a bad geometry, but it's a little bit chunky. What it's doing is kind of trying to soften that corner, again, with all the different sides coming together. So I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna see how it interacts with this once I soften this too. But there we go, that's looking good thus far. I'm gonna do the same thing to these top cushions. Just triple click, round corner, good, exit, triple click, good, whoops, triple click, 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 now good. All right, so those look all right. Now I'm gonna come into this piece right here. I probably wanna be a little bit more selective. I don't wanna soften everything. So remember so if I triple click, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna say, go for it. So what it's gonna do is it's going to, on all these inside corners, it's gonna kind of come in them and soften them, cup them together like that. My outside corners are all gonna be kind of the outside. So the question really is, where am I actually going to soften that geometry like that? There's some spots I probably don't want to do that. Inside corners I probably want to pull kind of sharp. That's maybe they would actually fold inside. So rather than hitting OK here, I'm going to actually be a little bit more selective. I'm going to select everything, and I'm going to show you a tool that I use a lot when it comes to selection. That's Selection Toys. And I'm going to come down to Deselect Faces. So I'm just going to get my edges turned on. So that's an extension. It's available on the Extension Warehouse. It's called Selection Toys. It lets you add or delete or filter your selections based on type. Now I'm going to hold down the Shift key to get my plus minus, and I'm going to turn off the inside corners. So I don't want any of these, to get softened.
Ooh, we got our best bus ever winner online right now.
Brian's here. Celebrity sighting.
Woo!
All right, so with those turned off, so I do have, I'm not 100% sure here. I'm not sure how this is gonna look. I'm not sure if I want to soften these edge pieces here or not, because that's gonna be where they butt up against each other. If this is all one piece, I may actually want to turn these off so it has a nice, smooth, flat connection with the corner piece. So I'm gonna turn those off. And I'm actually going to turn the bottom off too. I want it to be totally flat on the bottom. I don't know what I'm doing.
We got another celebrity status online. Don't get too nervous, Aaron. It's Josh.
Oh. Great. All these guys are going to tell me what to do. All right. So now that I've filtered my selection, I got my inside corners turned off. I got my end and bottom turned off. Now I can hit round corner. And I can actually view again, so I can see where it's going to round the corner. So this front corner will be rounded. This will be rounded up here. That looks good. I'm going to go ahead and hit it, and then exit, and then I'll click out to see how that looks with my cushions. So yeah, I kind of like that. I like the way that looks. So the round corner rounded this piece, you can see like that, but it left it flat on the bottom. I think that looks good. If I want a little bit of a lip under there on the bottom, I could come through, click in here, and then, do another round corner with maybe rather than a whole inch offset, maybe I do like a 1/4 inch or something like that. Just give a real small, little tiny lip. Something like that could work. I'm going to go ahead and leave mine just flat though. Again, it all comes down to modeling for what you're actually using the model for. All right, so like that, and you can see that took care of what looked like. It looked like our cushions were in from the bottom, but by softening that corner, you can see they actually come out to flush with the front.
Dave says you need some space underneath for cat toys to disappear to.
I was going to come back and put feet. But yeah, I didn't know the technical term was cat toy storage location. So thank you. All right, these are gonna go pretty much the same way. I'm gonna double click, triple click, round corner. I'm gonna put my same, set the same 1 inch offset here, around the whole thing. Same thing for the back cushion, triple click, round corner, 1 inch. Leave that. And I'm gonna go into the geometry here. I have these extra lines I forgot to delete out. I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'm not gonna triple click because there's actually not that many pieces that are softened on this, or that are gonna be rounded over on this one. I think that's it. I think it's just those pieces. So I can just select them. I don't have to do a big group select and deselect or anything like that. All right. What's going on here? Oh, I must have had some loose geometry somewhere. I rounded the corner, pulled back, and left that piece for me. All right, so that is our about an hour sofa. No, not even, sorry, about 40-minute sofa. So I know one of the questions was materials. How do I put materials on here? So let's take, oh no, I'm sorry, I forgot cat toy and change storage.
The most important part
That's
of
right.
the couch.
Oh, look here, I got the extra line here too. All right, so we'll come on under here, and I'm gonna draw just basically, it's gonna be pretty simple. Let's see, I'll come across from here to find where those two meet, and I'm gonna draw like a 3 by 3 inch square, which I'll pull down to, what's my reference photo say for that? All right, so we're gonna say 1.5 inches. Someone with a cat toy, is that about the right size? 1.5 inches.
Looking at you.
Yeah. All right, that looks good, but not good enough. I wanna give it a little bit of shape. So I'm gonna grab my scale tool and I'm just gonna slide this towards the front. Something like that. That's a good looking foot. All right, so I'm gonna grab that. And before I actually make this a component, I'm gonna add a little bit more geometry just to make it easier to place. I'm gonna grab a line and drag it out to the corner here, and another line to drag it out to a corner here. That'll let me place it from the front or the back. I'm gonna draw one more line like that. These lines will all come off after all these pieces are placed, but actually I guess I don't need all those lines, but this is gonna give me a couple options as far as where I wanna put this on the other pieces of the sofa. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna say make component. I'm gonna call this my foot. And I can take that then, and I'll place option to copy. I'll put one right here, and then rotate that 90 degrees. Grab both of these, copy over here. This is another one of those spots where probably a dozen different ways I could copy these feet over. But that's my 4 feet. I'm gonna come in here, grab one. I have to Control C. I can't use modify or move key to put it on the other piece, on the middle piece, because it's out of context. So Control C to copy. Then when I click into this, then I can hit Control V to paste. And now I can grab it by those handles. There we go. Stick it right here. And rotate it 90 degrees there. There. Right here, and I can take that, of course, rotate that 90 degrees. And one more. Actually, I wonder if we would want a 5th foot. On the back here. Is that gonna be tippy? I'm gonna tip back. We'll throw a spare foot in just for fun. Grab this foot. I'll grab it by the outside corner. I'll go find the middle of this arc. And I'll rotate it, let's see. Oh, 90 degrees. So there's some foots.
Looks good.
I'm gonna click in here, double click into one of these feet and just get rid of my lines. I just needed those replacements, so once I do that, they disappear on all of them. And I have, there's my sofa geometry. I'm gonna save.
You could hide so much change
I
underneath there now.
know. So many cat toys.
And dog toys, both. Now.
If you had a small enough child, you could stick them under there.
Christopher Ryan wants to know if you can add some button tufting. Is that the right tufting?
Yeah,
Is that the right word?
that's a thing. Yes, we could do that. That's one of the things that I absolutely, yes. Short answer, yes. I'm not gonna do it on this sofa because I like the way this one's turning out. But we'll go look at some tufting because if I was to do that, here it is. I gotta talk like I'm not making excuses while I make an excuse. Absolutely, that would be awesome. I wouldn't want to try to do it on a round thing like this on the fly. I would have to spend a little more time. But we'll make a separate cushion. We'll make a nice pillow that has a button in the center and some
Perfect.
tufting. All right, so the other thing I want to talk about real quick is how to put some materials on here. There's a couple ways I could do this. I'm gonna come in here and come in here. All right, so I'm gonna get down to the surface level. I don't want to apply materials to a container, a group on the outside. I do, when I apply materials, want to apply it to the actual surfaces. So what I'm saying there is, like, it will let me take the paint bucket and apply materials right here onto this surface, but I don't want to operate that way. That's not what I want to do. What I want to actually do is apply it to the surface here. One of the big reasons is we're going to go in and modify and edit the texture. You can't do that when the texture is applied to an entire container. There's other downstream parts that can come back and bite you, but the most upfront way is I can only edit textures if they're on a surface. So that's exactly what we're talking about right now, is editing textures. So I'm going to be lazy and I'm going to use a stock texture. I know our stock textures are not beautiful, they're not the best, but they're gonna work for this. I'm gonna hit B and I'm gonna go look at my fabric textures. And I want this to be a really good looking sofa. So I'm gonna grab, what do we got? Carpet. Ooh, blue suede couch. I'm gonna apply that there.
Alex has a lot of ideas to make this couch something crazy.
I like ideas.
He wants to see it walk.
Ah.
And he wants to see some cup holders. This will be a crazy couch. Maybe we'll do you can do a riff off of the couch like the best bus ever.
Maybe we'll make a best couch ever. Maybe I'll throw this up in black and white and we can, uh-oh, looks like we dropped on Facebook or something. Or is that just me?
Looks like it's still on.
All right. Might just be my connection. All right, so I'm gonna take this. So you guys will recognize this. I'm gonna grab this right now. I'm gonna hit paint bucket. I'm gonna sample off of this material, or this surface right here. This is just a flat surface I put the default material on. If I click here, you will recognize this. So my nice smooth corners become kind of a mess, right? This is the issue. What happens by default when you just grab a bunch of materials or a bunch of surfaces and you hit paint bucket and just drop it on there, it takes that material, it puts it on one surface, then it goes to the next surface, takes the material, puts it onto that surface, and it works its way around like the facets, like the rounded corner. Each surface gets another separate one. So you end up with, basically each time it does it, that texture starts over. It moves over, starts over from the same spot. So you end up with this jagged looking chunks going down the side. Not ideal, right? So what we can do instead is I can take this material, right click, texture, and call it a projected texture. So projected texture behaves a little bit differently, because rather than, when I put it onto a curved surface, rather than each facet getting its own, it, like a image on a projector, it actually casts it from one direction. So watch what happens. I'm going to triple click again. I'm going to hit B for paint bucket. I'm going to sample this projected texture and apply it here. And this is a double-edged sword, which we will see right now. So you can see it did, if I look at it like from this, it's the same texture all the way. But what ends up happening is on the vertical side, it's stretching it, it's projecting it again, so it's projecting it vertically down and it ends up stretching down like this. So in some cases, depending on your texture, that might be okay. I might have a texture that actually looks all right in that. Oh, this texture looks terrible. Oh, that looks horrible. It looks like an asphalt couch.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know about that.
we're gonna roll with it though. All right, so I'm gonna keep going here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show hidden. And if you have one of these textures that doesn't look good cast that way, what you can do is you can select that other surface. So I'm gonna select this middle ring, like that. And I'm going to go in and apply that exact same texture once already selected to the side. So I'm going to take this basically and do this, and then when I go like that, I'm applying it then from the side. And see, that looks a little bit better. Come over here. Nope, didn't last too long. So I could add this to the front and back. Something like this. Again, this is all in lieu of going and finding the right texture and bringing it in. I'll grab this one right here. I will
It's a new trend.
turn it this way.
The asphalt couch.
That's right. I'll pick this again, and I'll apply that to this side. And this side. So you can see when you're done with that, turn off my hidden, it's better. It's not ideal. This is a hacked together example. But if you really are concerned about getting those nice flowing geometry around, what I would recommend is taking a look at some of the UV example or UV extensions out there. SketchUV, Wrapper, I'm missing one. I don't know. I don't remember what the other one is. Somebody remembers. Dave probably remembers.
Yep.
There's a third one that will allow you to actually project one surface normally along all those surfaces. In this case, yes, that was actually Dave pointed out too. I used a very large texture. What I probably should have done to start with was take this texture, used position to, wow, that's huge. Start by just shrinking this way down so it looks less like asphalt and more like actual suede. That looks softer. See, that actually looks kind of nice. That I can get behind.
That looks comfortable.
That looks far more comfortable. So when it comes to texture, one of the big things, and actually I will give a nod to Dave Richards right now, so I appreciate that input, but the real important thing for that is to have good images. So I know I'm calling out Dave Richards because one of the things he does is he actually imports images of wood for his wood projects. And there's nothing that can really beat just actually taking a real picture of wood and, showing it in your model, because a picture of a real thing is gonna look more like a real thing than a tiling texture that's been edited in Photoshop.
Dave has a couple of good pointers, it looks like.
edit the dimension in the model collection. Oh yeah, that is true. That would have saved me reapplying that. So if I come over here to what's in my model, I can grab this right here, double click, and uh, 1 foot. There we go. Oh, that was easier.
Thanks,
And the whole thing's
Dave.
done. Thanks, Dave. Yeah. So that's easier. So those of you who missed that, all I did was take the material, I double clicked on the material right here, and globally throughout the entire model, wherever this material was used, I scaled down how big it was me. So rather than the swatch being 5 feet, it came down to 1 foot, and it gave me a much more, again, more suede looking than concrete looking couch. So soft-ish looking. I turn off hidden, and that looks all right. I'm good with that. Yeah, so there's a couple tips. So I'm trying to think of an easy, quick way to, I can't really think of a quick way to reapply that to everything without going through all that. So I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave it as it is. But I do like that idea. We're gonna take this model and we'll do a couch customization. Maybe we'll make it even more than that. Maybe we'll challenge you to build a living room or something around this couch, this centerpiece.
Right, like a whole set, like a table and a chair too, maybe?
Yeah, this is gonna be up to you. I'm gonna take this though, I'm gonna sorry Mark, gotta go. I'm gonna take this sofa as it is right now before I do anything else, and I will throw this up on 3D Warehouse, and we'll tag it with something clever and witty and hashtagable. We have to search for it first, because last time I saw, best bus ever. Who's gonna tag that? And that guy had that drawing of a low poly city that was tagged as best bus ever from like 2 years ago. So, gotta do a little research, is what I learned right there. But we'll throw this up there and we'll do a quick competition and see who can make the coolest living room with our live modeled couch as the centerpiece. Yeah, so let's see what else we got. Small corners, yep.
Somebody wanted to see a matching table, but maybe that's for the contest.
Yeah, I
What
want to see
you're
your
creating.
matching table. See what you guys come up with for that.
Exactly.
All right, just because somebody mentioned it, I gotta throw a cup holder in here because I think it's such a cool idea. So if I was to put a cup holder in the arm, what I would do, I'm gonna come down obviously to this geometry, and I'm gonna show hidden. And let's see, I'll probably, so I want to put it in the middle. So I'll grab a circle on the blue axis, come down the middle. No, I'm not coming down. There we go. There-ish. Pull it out something like that. And I'll drop it down a little ways. And then in order, what I probably want to grab just this circle right here and round that off with not a 1 inch offset, that's excessive, but maybe we'll go 1/4 inch. There we go. Hit that. Ooh, that didn't work out like I wanted it to. Is that just extra geometry? I might be able to clean that up real quick. Sometimes Fredo Corner gets a little excited with the geometry and end up with extra stuff that I don't really need. I'm not sure why it tied everything back together like that, like it did. But fortunately, see, that's what happens when I decide, I'm like, hey, this would be a fun thing to do. Let me just do this real quick. And then live, the whole idea of being live is like That's not what you're supposed to do. And it reminds me. Oh, I see what happened. Wait, undo, 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 undo. The problem was grab that again. My 1/4 inch hit right here. See those little blue dots? That's where the edge is actually lapping into the corner going over like that. So I could probably just take this down to like,
Ian says if you reduce the offset, it should work better.
let's try 3/16. There we go. It does do this when you create a circle sometimes, where it will go fill the face in or something. Man, I had to show a cup holder. All right, there we go. All right, there. That was, see, quick and easy, no problem. That would be, I would definitely have to throw that in there. I don't know how big that is though. Is that big enough for, what's the width of an average 2 inches? That's a little, that's a little slim.
That's pretty tiny.
I'd have to, it's a shot couch or something. All right, undo, 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 undo.
It says the regular size is a diameter of 3.15 inches and 2.25 inches deep.
That makes sense. And my whole arm is only 4 inches wide, so that'll be an issue. All right, so if you do want to put cup holders in here, you're going to have to make it wider. So, and actually, just to throw out a tip, something to think about there, if I wanted to make my arm wider, for example, what I could very easily do, it's hard when you have geometry like this where everything's hidden because it says this is all one big surface. What you can do is turn on hidden though, and then you got to get good at your selection, but I can select everything that's on this face like this, and I could pull this over, so I want to go over 2 more inches to make that wider, to kind of give me a little bit more space there. Same thing here, I could go to this cushion, grab just this geometry, turn hidden on, and then slide that over 2 inches. Same thing up here then, if I wanted to. That way I have now, from here to here, it's 4.5 inches, so I actually have the real estate to put a proper cup holder into that arm. So, something to think about as we launch off into this next effort. All right. Okay. So I'm going to go back. This will be again undoing back to the point of our centerpiece. Save it again. This will be what goes up on Warehouse, and this is what will be linked to for our competition yet to be named. If you keep an eye on the forum, we'll actually make sure to put something up there about it, and then next week I will show you where that's at, show you where the model's at, and all that kind of thing. So it'll be officialer next week. All right, so that is our sofa. That turned out pretty cool. That was fun. Let's, I'm gonna go ahead and close that, and we're gonna come back over here to Google, and we're gonna look at roll top desk. Ooh, that's cool looking. That's a cool looking desk right there. Like that one too. I don't know a whole lot about roll top desks, to be honest, guys. We have one. I have one in my house, but it's kid sized, and it really just kind of sits in the hallway. So, I guess what we can really do is just kind of take one of these images and use it maybe as a quick photo match, just to kind of bulk out the desk, and then maybe we'll build the rest of it from inspiration. Pimp my sofa.
It's like that old TV show, Pimp My
That's
Car.
right. Yeah, I think, ooh, that's fancy. All right, I'm gonna back it up a little bit. All right, so something like this. I want to get a fairly large image. There we go. Take a peek at this. All right, so I'm going to save that, and I'm going to come back into the SketchUp. Start a new model, and I'm going to close round corner. I can use that so much on a wood desk. And I'm going to start by importing that file I just downloaded. Oops, I wasn't paying attention to what I just did there. I'm going to import that. Rather than using it as an image, I'm going to use it as a new match photo. Import that. And I'm going to start by sticking my origin right down here at the corner. Put my red axes on here. I'm going to use my highest point, like that. And I'm going to grab this, come down here, bring my lowest point, my lowest edge, like this. And you can, as you're doing match photo, you can scroll up and down to zoom in and out. What you can't do when you're in match photo is orbit, because that'll throw you out of there. My green axis is going to be along this side. That, and then this one up here, my higher side. And again, we're not, this is not gonna be perfect, but we're actually, that looks pretty good. A little fine tuning. If I want to, I'd come in here a little bit tighter like this. You can tell I'm concentrating, guys. I can't talk and align axes apparently. I gotta focus.
No multitasking.
Focus hard. That's right. And you see there's a little bit of distortion on this drawing too. Or this is wood and it's old and it's no longer perfectly straight. But this straight line, this green axis hits the corner here. And look where it is, it's on the inside of the leg here. And same thing, inside the leg here and then back on the outside corner. So it says that the image is maybe a little bit bowed like this, which could happen. But, or again, this, I don't know how new this is. It may actually just be a little bit not perfect. I'm getting the same kind of thing. You can actually see, look at this reflection line right here. See how it actually kind of comes up and bows up and then comes back. So I'm guessing this is a little bit out of plumb. They probably didn't take this picture intending for me to use it for this. Rude. But this will be good enough for what we have to do. What we have to do is just get the rough geometry of the legs, the top, get all that in there. This is plenty for that. So with that done, I'm going to go ahead into Match Photo, and I'm going to say, done. It's big. Sorry. As I hit done, I realized that, look at a little mark down here, little under the King Kong desk. That's all right. We'll be good. All right, so I'm going to click right here and get one leg in. Oh, actually, this was this. And then I'll do something like this, and then pull that up to the bottom there. So that's one of my legs. I'm going to just temporarily group it. And I know I'm grouping and not componenting, and I know I'm doing that right in front of Dave Richards. I can't believe it. But this is totally temporary isolation of geometry, because I do want all this to end up going back together in a minute. Knowing that I'm going to jump in and out of this photo match, I am going to go to animation settings and turn off screen transitions. With that off, then anytime I rotate out, I can just hit that and just snap right back into it. All right, I'm gonna grab that group. I'm gonna slide it along the green axis till it covers up that second side. There we go. And I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put a line from here to here, and that is gonna be my middle line. This is absolutely a one of those situations where I don't want to model more than half of this. All right, so something like that. Actually, I'm going to probably pull this front out. Oh, this is probably further back. So that needs to go up a little bit higher, so it matches that, which means I have to grab this, pull that up a little bit higher. I'm not messing with this one over here because, well, what did I do? Because I'm really not worried about this. I just put this in for reference temporarily right there. All right, now I'm gonna have something like this. There we go. And I'm just gonna, again, temporarily chop it like that. Give that a little bit of width. Make that a group. And then one last chunk on here. Bring that out to the middle point. All right, so knowing that I don't know how to design furniture, this is where I'm at right now. I should probably go in here fairly quickly and get this to the right scale, because I drew these pieces. Again, these are just slabs to represent pieces. Once I actually go and start modeling, excuse me, I want to model actual material widths. So this was just to kind of get my general shape. And I'll grab this option, bring it over here, right click, flip along the green axes.
Dave says you can save yourself a lot of work if you model it with the timbre closed.
Of course. Totally not going to Google timbre on my phone right now.
I'm going to look that up real quick. I should probably know what that means.
Isn't that an instrument?
That's what I thought. Oh,
There's
a circular frame for holding fabric taut while it is being embroidered. Still don't know. Exactly
Well, that clears
what
things
that is.
right up.
It's
Timbre
the
is the
roll
roll top,
Thank
which
you, Dave.
is right. Well, I guess fabric or something like that could be the back, right? Isn't that how that whole roll toppy thingy works? Yes, let's do that. Let's do just that. All right, so I'm going to grab these pieces right here, explode them. I can get rid of some of this geometry here. And this is going to be, again, like I was saying, this is just my reference group. So this is just to kind of get me a shape. So I'm going to make that a group. And what's an average desk height? Who's got a desk height? Again, I know it's 4 inches above my leg when I sit in this particular chair, but who knows what this dimension should be right here.
Looks like 29 inches, maybe?
29?
Is that too tall?
30.
Yep.
Thomas says 30, so
Yep. We'll go with Thomas.
I tend to trust Thomas in times like these. All right, so And grab this, click, click, call that 30 inches. Yes. That seems... Pando just measured his own desk, or their own desk for us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. So yeah, according to Mark, this is an acceptable size for a desk. All right. Thank you, Mark. That's all I'm going to ask of you today. Okay. So, having done all that, we can start. What time is it? You know, I'm going to add some suspense and take a break right now. I need to top off my coffee and yeah, so we're gonna take about a 5 to 10 minute break right now, so I can do breaky stuff, and then we'll come back at it and we'll start modeling this desk. Again, what I'm thinking, one of the things I'm thinking about right now is intention for the desk is how much detail do I want to actually put into this? Like, I'm not going to build the desk off of this, so I'm not too worried about actually going in and having each piece properly cut to, you know, go together. What I'm more looking for is kind of a overall whole desk that looks good. So I'm kind of thinking that that's the direction I'll go for. I don't want to go totally monolithic. I do want to create maybe my drawers separate so I could actually slide them in and out or something like that. But I'm not going to actually make this fabricatable, I don't think, just because of the time we have left. Just my thought. So I'm thinking out loud. It's a thing I do. So anyhow, yes, 5 to 10 minutes, and we will hop right back in here and continue on with our roll top desk. So I will see you guys in a few. Thank you. All right, thanks for the time off, guys. Couple questions that came up. One was about how often we do this. This is actually an every Friday thing. This is a Friday afternoon, just our hanging out Friday afternoons kind of thing, you know. So if you ever have Friday open, or if you're near a computer and just want to have it run on the side, this is what we do. So Friday at noon Mountain Time. Not daily. I'm sorry. I have too many other responsibilities. Can't do this every day. It'd be fun. It would definitely be a good time. No, there is not a native UV mapping function inside of SketchUp. That's where Wrapper, WRAPR, or SketchUV come in handy. So they're extensions that allow you to do UV mapping. Thank you, Jax, like my pants shirt. Yeah. Oh, and that was the other thing is my mouse. There's always questions about it, but while we're taking a break, I'll look at like product placement. No, this is the 3D Connection Space Mouse Enterprise. So this is not a requirement. You can run SketchUp without it. Absolutely, 100%. I do on a regular basis, but for presentation, it's really nice because with this mouse, you end up getting real smooth movements as opposed to the scrolling movements that we're all used to in SketchUp. So not a requirement, but it's a nice to have thing if you model a lot or you do a lot of presenting when you presenting of SketchUp models. So, all right. Let's hop in and get rolling again. So just so you guys know, I actually have a separate computer, not just monitor, but a whole separate computer that's actually running all the streaming stuff, which is separate from my laptop, which I'm actually working off of right here. So I have a separate mouse over here on the left that I'm using to do stuff over there. And I'm not left-handed, and this is not going well. I'm moving around a lot, so anyhow, I like to share my pain with you guys, apparently. This is why I'm stumbling and look like I don't know what I'm doing. All right. So yeah, I mean, the 3D mouse is nice. It does, like I said, the big thing is just presentation. So everybody who uses SketchUp is used to, and I myself, we do this kind of thing. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, if you're doing it, it's not like shocking or anything like that. But somebody who's watching and doesn't know you're about to dart into the drawing, it can be a little bit jarring. So for a lot of presentations, I use a 3D mouse because it lets me do a lot of smoother moves like this. It's just a little bit nicer way to present things. It looks a little bit better. Animation just a little bit smoother, that sort of thing. The other thing, so for presentation, that's why I use a 3D mouse. As far as a tool to help with SketchUp, it also has a bunch of programmable buttons on it, so it does speed up use of SketchUp. So if you're a heavy SketchUpper or do a lot of presentation, it's worth checking out a 3D mouse. They do have ones that are just this part, just the puck, so just the 3D movement and not all the shortcut keys, which like I said, it's great for presentation. Yeah, question about modeling a car. Technically, we modeled a car last week. It was the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which I don't know if you've seen it before, but it looks like it's made out of a rowing boat and garbage can? I don't know. So we kind of did that. It was kind of a fun example, but if you watched last week's stream, we do talk about using reference images for cars, that sort of thing. And then, I don't know, a couple months back, we did a school bus where we actually had the reference images of side, top, and front and modeled everything off of those reference images. So yeah, we have done that a little bit in the past. So it's out there. So you could check that out. Ivan Ninja. Is that your real last name? Is Ninja really your last name? That sounds like a stage name. That sounds made up. All right, let's get into this thing. I am going to, so we have this still. This obviously isn't going to do us a whole lot of good because I'm probably not going to model off of the match photo. But as I've done before, I'm going to go into my styles and go to watermark and add that image as a watermark. So I'm just going to throw it over here to the side. Oh. A little smaller. Coordinate that with my head. There we go. All right, so now you can see everything. All right. Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of use this as basically a reference. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to start at the top and work my way down, I think, because I really want to spend time on this top section. So I might start with this right here. Let's see, how big did I make this? So it's approximately an inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and draw something that's exactly an inch. I can see the difference. So that is where I want to have that be to. So just pull this here. Give me something to snap to. All right, so now it's exactly 1 inch tall. It looks like we have a little bit of a, I believe the technical term is fanciness going on here, where we have a little bit of a router going around the edge there. So I'm going to come on to the end here. I'm going to add 2 separate reliefs. One's going to cut back kind of like this, and then another one I'm just going to knock this corner off up here, something like that. I'm not going to do it with straight lines though. I'm going to grab a simple arc, cut that off first. Oh, no. Like that. And then, let's see. I can't tell exactly what's going on there. So I'm going to make it up. I'm going to say do something like that, and then throw an arc, something like that. So that's the, that looks a little weird, doesn't it? Something like that. That sounds believable, right? So what I'm going to do is start by grabbing these 3 lines. I'm going to hit follow me, and then just start with the little one. There we go. Goes all the way around. And now I got to grab these 3 lines, and then again follow me and click on this little profile, and that subtracts. For some reason it didn't get rid of that original section there. That was odd. I am going to hit the modifier key on the eraser and get rid of this extra line here, but I'll leave this one at the top because it's a little bit of an edge intentionally. So there's our top. Whew. And from there the desk basically builds itself.
Looks perfect.
All right, so let's check this. This is approximately 5/8 inch. Let's say we want exactly 5/8 inch. Let's do it. How far over am I right here? All right, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to say I want to come over exactly 1.5 inches. And from there, I want to go some 5/8 inch material. Grab this. I'm going to shift it to here. And then push-pull that out to here. And some of you will remember I said I was going to model half of this, and that was my intention. So I'm going to break it in half right now. Probably should have just done this from the beginning. Just gonna draw a plane like that. There we go. Let's grab that. Intersect face with selection. That'll break it, and then I can just grab this half and delete. Sweet. All right, there's half of it. That's gonna save me a little time. I'll probably do some pieces like the roll top maybe because I want it to all be one piece and I want to have to go in and join stuff together. So I might do that separate, but for right now, this is gonna work. All right, I want to, so for one thing, this actually needs to go back quite a bit. So I'm gonna temporarily delete this. Slide this back like this. And then what actually happens is I'm going to take this face out like that, and I'm just going to get full size piece of material sticking out. Now I do want to create this look right here. So a lot of times when I draw arcs, this is just me. What I'll do is I will rough it in using straight lines. So I'm gonna say it's gonna do something like this. This can go down like this. Let's come out to here. And maybe this last section, maybe from here on up, it's straight. So what I do with that then is I go grab my arc, come like this maybe. Again, these lines are just kind of reference. They're not, I don't have to stick perfectly to them, but, oops. I'm using that 2-point arc right now. So something like that. I'm gonna take that, push that through to get rid of it. And sometimes, this is something else you may hit every once in a while, I got a little bit of a bump coming out here. Because I have segments and because I can come back and weld afterwards, I might just do something like that. Just knock that corner down a little bit. And then I can hit Alt and clean that up. The other thing that I could have used there would be something like that thing that I just spaced on. You know, the thing. I could use Bezier curve to go through and give me a little bit more control over those rather than using arcs. Arcs is actually kind of a clunky way to do that, and actually ended up with not a very good looking arc right here. I may actually come in right now and put a new arc right here. See how that looks. No, that looks terrible. I don't dislike that though. All right, I'm gonna pull this out a little bit further. Pull it out to right here where the arc begins. Awesome. And this is actually rounded. You can see that on here, it's actually rounded over on both sides. So kind of a whoa. Shout out to Michael Lynch, who's 13 and using how to use SketchUp. That's awesome.
Wow.
That's very cool. Asking about extensions. There is lots of information out there on extensions. That's really cool. You can actually look at our YouTube channel. We have some videos called Extension Inspections where we look at some different extensions and how they work. We also have a video up there about installing extensions, which is a spot that sometimes people trip up on. But yeah, that's great. That's right. Time to get off the router tool or the sandpaper tool. No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide some stuff. grab all this stuff and temporarily hide it. Because I want to come underneath here. And what I want to do is I want to do a half circle. I want a pure half circle right up against the edge right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come down here a little ways away from the corner, oops, and do an arc like this and pull it out till it snaps to half circle. Then I'm going to grab that half circle by the end point and slide it up, boom, to where it hits that piece. So what I just created was, I still have the half circle I'm still going to subtract, but I'm all the way up against the edge. You know what? Guess what I didn't do before break?
Save?
Oh yeah. So we're going to call this the desk. And here's what I'm going to do to select the edge. I'm going to double click here to get the whole surface, and then just come back and turn off geometry. I see a lot of people spending a lot of time going in and clicking little tiny geometry to make their selection. You can do that, but if you could select a bigger piece and just turn off the pieces you want with a few clicks, that's definitely a better way to do it. So just some food for thought. The other thing I'm going to do is while these lines are selected, I'm going to go into extensions and I'm going to hit weld. So that weld gave me all of this as one line. So now I can actually come back, reselect those two pieces, grab follow me, click right here, and there we have, get rid of that little geometry. There's our nice soft curve. All right, save. Not really sure how this melds in up there, but maybe what I'll do is just push pull this all the way back. Ooh, that's not straight. That's why it's not working. Okay, or I won't. Oh, that's a little bit angled. What I am going to do is I'm going to draw a line from here across to here temporarily, because I want to create this inset panel here. So I want to actually take that, offset that, let's see, maybe, how about 2 1/4 inches? That sounds good. I can actually get rid of that little piece then. All right, so now what happens here, it's hard to tell exactly, so this is where I'm going to start making up details. And, yeah, Dave says leave it. I trust Dave. There's a couple things I could do here. This is actually a prime opportunity to use follow me. So I'm going to do a couple different reliefs that I could do here, and this is a question people ask about cabinet making, doors and windows, anytime you have these reliefs. So this isn't just a straight push-pull in. So this is not what that looks like up close. There's actually a little bit of detail here where this was routed or something to make it just a little bit more, fancy. So what I'm going to do is go through a couple ways I could do that. So one thing you could do is we have 5/8 of an inch. So say I want to push it in 1/8 inch. And then we'll go offset and pull this in, let's say 1/4 inch. And then I could take this piece right here, move it along the green axes, not that far. A little offset like that and create, and then come in here. I might have to do a little bit of cleanup if I did something like this. But I could actually go in, something like that. And what that ends up creating is kind of a, so I got a straight piece and then an angled piece kind of happening in there. That's an option. That is a way you could do it. The other option would be to, again, offset and just push-pull to give me a stepped relief in there. That works also. That's real easy to do. But we're not going to do either of those. What I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do is do some more welding. Weld, if you're looking for an extension to start with and never used an extension before, like Michael just asked, go grab Weld. There's actually a couple different. I think there's SU Weld, and I think TIG has a TIG Weld. What Weld will do is take these disparate, so each of these is a separate section right now. If I select all of them like this by double clicking on the surface and then shift click to turn off the surface, now I have just these lines. I go to extension and hit Weld. It'll make all those pieces one, and that way when I do a push pull, look, I get that one nice soft curve all the way. Rather than what I had before the weld was this right here. So I'd have to go in and do a eraser with a modifier tool to smooth that back out. So I'm gonna grab that, extension, weld. Weld's also nice because it's easy. One button click and the whole extension's finished. Another way to do what I was just talking about is to take this and push it in the full amount. So let's go full, I already forgot what we did. 5/16 deep, is that what is this? 5/8. All right, so we're gonna go halfway through, let's see. 5/16. And what we could do then is I can come in here and I can basically build a profile that I wanna drag all the way around that shape. I am gonna go in and sharpen up a couple corners. These actually don't want to be smooth and welded. They want to be sharp. All right. So what I can do is I can come in here right here, perpendicular to one of the lines. So this is a perfectly vertical line. So I'm going to build my profile here on the wall. So I'm going to come over a couple inches like this, and then maybe I will come out like that. And let's do fancy like that. All right, so I want to take that profile now and trace it all the way around. Select that, and then follow me, click that, and then I get that. That's a nice, simple, one-click profile in there. You can see that. Kind of a quarter round.
Leo said when you did weld, you forgot to deselect the surface.
That's true. I did not deselect the surface. It still works. When you click weld, it disregards any surfaces collected and only looks at the line segments. I did that I called out that I was turning it off for clarity the first time and then didn't do it the second time. So you got me. You're right. All right, so I have a couple pieces to clean up right here, but you can see, and this got a little ugly. That wasn't quite big enough to make it, I'm going to undo a couple times. That wasn't quite big enough to make it around this corner. This corner is only 3/8 of an inch. So build a new section, one that is less than that. The nice thing about SketchUp, you can always undo and try again. Undo is one of my very favorite commands, in case you guys did not pick up on that.
Me too.
All right, let's try that. Oh, failed again. All right, well, hey, I can do this all day. So close. All right, so this may be a situation where we can talk about an issue and a solution. One of the things I'm running into here is the small surface limitation of SketchUp. We've talked about this a little bit before on some of the previous live streams and touched on it in a video or two in the past. SketchUp fundamentally was, like, from the core, was created to be an architectural tool. So there's some deep roots that have to do with, like, what's your default unit size, or what size materials are you dealing with. So SketchUp is really built around architectural size things. So where a 1/16 of an inch is considered very, very tiny. So when we look at this, when we're trying to make these little pieces, one of these segments right here is, well, it's less than a 16th of an inch. It's very, very small. So what SketchUp stumbles on a little bit is the creation of that very small geometry. It can use and maintain very, 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 very small geometry, but when it goes to create it, anything smaller than 0.001 inches, I think, it has a hard time creating that. So we have a thing that is referred to as the Dave method. So Dave. Boy, Dave's getting a lot of shout outs.
He is.
I was gonna tease him a little bit for being really good at modeling woodworking while I was gonna hack at it, but
Celebrity status.
yeah, man. So what we can do is I'm gonna take this surface and make it a component. And this is a temp component. What I'll do then, I'll take a copy and just copy it out. And now I'm going to scale it up by 100. So now I have that exact same geometry, it's just way bigger. And I scaled the outside of the component, not the geometry on the inside, but actually the component itself made that bigger. So it's all the exact same geometry as is down here, just 100 times larger. What this lets me do, hopefully, is select this, follow me, select this, and give me a better, not didn't fix it up completely. Let's go bigger. We'll go even bigger. I don't care, I'll do it. Let's go another 10 times bigger. And when I broke that out, I broke my weld. So I am going to re-weld that. All right, now we'll say follow me. All right, that's pretty close. One little spot that didn't quite. It's funny, I was kind of looking at that. Was a little bit of a janky corner anyhow.
Ooh, Dave said that making it bigger won't fix it, that you have to change the path.
All right, so I should. What do you think about this? Oh, it's that's that corner. Okay. Well, it helped a little bit. All right,
This is turning into the Dave method.
All right. All right, I'm gonna modify my path. Re-weld. Let's see how this goes. And boom. Not better. All right, so it wants this to be smaller than this piece actually, so yeah. This goes back to the beginning where I actually, I messed with this a little bit too. Okay, back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. All right, and of course, now that I've gone and done all this, there's no way I'm gonna do this and it's not gonna look stupid. All right, I'm gonna fix stuff. I'm gonna make it work. Don't y'all worry. You can tell you're worried, so worried. All right, I'm gonna go. There we go. I think that will probably fix our problem. There we go. But I unwelded. I'm turning off these pieces because I don't want my 90-degree chunks to get welded too. All right, there's just that, and then, I'm gonna turn off this and this also, and re-weld that. All right, now I can select this, follow me, click this right here, and we have something that looks good. All right, so we don't need you anymore. We dabbled with the Dave method, but it wasn't what we needed at the time. All right, so there, we got a good looking relief right there. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to go on the other side, shoot that across like that. Going to grab that, take that line, weld it. didn't like that for some reason. Try turning off more. So we can just see if I can just get the curves welded is really the only part I'm worried about. There we go. Extension, weld. That gives me that curve. So what I want to do is take this, and the curve and offset that in because I want to get my, I don't know if you'd call it slot, groove. I want to call it like a rail, but it's actually the opposite rail because it's going to go in rather than out. So see, YouTube called it right. Dave Richards watching Aaron model furniture? Oh, it's a crazy world, YouTube. It's a crazy world. All right, so I'm gonna grab these 3 pieces and just follow me with this slot, and there we go. All right, that I'm gonna go. I'm gonna edit, unhide all to get the rest of my. Oh, see my hidden? Huh. Oh, is it outside the context? Where is it? Did I delete it? Interesting. Starting from scratch. All right, well, I know where my foot was, so that's something. Sometimes when you start talking about things, you lose track of what you're actually doing.
That's okay. Dave will keep you on track.
That's right. Thanks, Dave. All right. So we're close to back. I mean, that was really all we had. We had a leg down there and then something representing our tabletop, but it really wasn't a whole lot more than that. I am going to separate this a little bit. Again, primarily because I want to keep geometry from connecting together right now. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to temporarily group it. And then I'm going to come in here. You know what? I'm going to... Having said that, I'm going to grab this and copy it. I'll leave context, edit, paste in place. And I'm just going to move it just straight down like that. Because I think I like that profile, and I'm going to use that same profile for my desk. What I need to do is I need to actually create the profile. So I come out like this, come over like this to about there. And I'm just going to take a chunk of it. I'm going to say go follow those 2 lines. A lot of follow me in this furniture.
Everyone's saying you better save it.
Ha ha ha! I'm living on the edge. No, you're absolutely right. File save. All right.
Oh, YouTube. He's got some good jokes.
All right, I'm going to pull that out a little bit further. No, actually I'm not. I like that back the way it was. I think I'm just going to end up pulling this back a little further. All right, something like that. And then I can take this and just pull that up to the bottom of the desk. All right, I like that. Okay, so here's a thing I'm thinking. Modeling this roll top right here is one of the next things we got to do. I just splashed coffee in my own eye.
Don't do that. Then you can't model.
Oh, I was trying to get out of it. I don't know what I'm doing. Now I'm injured. Gotta leave. Workers' comp. I'm gonna take this right here, and I'm trying to think of the best way to do this, because what a roll top is made up of is a bunch of small, longer pieces. So I'm kind of thinking of using an extension that I haven't used for a long time, and actually I don't really know how to use very well, and that is component stringer. Actually, something else that I'm realizing is not right now is this should actually, correct me if I'm wrong, should actually turn and lead back here, right? Because this roll top actually rolls back in and comes back down. So I'm going to see. So this is 5/16. Drop that down there. Put a arc on here. Then take these and offset it from here to here, and just drop that line straight down. Something like that. Okay, I can push pull this back to the same depth as this. And get rid of these extra lines. Push pull that back.
Hey Aaron,
Yes.
is there an extension to find intersecting solid components and groups?
Intersecting solid components in groups. If you have solid, is the question about finding the solid tools
Yes.
or finding the solids?
It sounds like it.
All right, explain yourself.
Hey Nicholas, could you explain?
Sometimes it's funny, but when people ask questions, they will ask what they think is the most direct way to ask. I need a tool that does this. And oftentimes, for people who are in, teaching, education, support, will want to know what the case is, because the actual answer may not line up with exactly what you thought the best way to ask the question was.
It's very true.
Finding intersecting. If you know the tools are solid, you can use the solid tools in SketchUp Pro to just intersect them, you can see the intersecting portion, that sort of thing. It doesn't just highlight where they overlap, but you can actually create a volume of the intersection. So that would work. Donald, don't talk trash like that, man. You know, I will work.
Want to use math.
I will if I absolutely have to, but it's not my favorite thing to do. You guys know that. I know that I was actually just thinking about that, because what I kind of have to do is look at. All right. Is look at this total length, if I extension weld that. Nope, I am gonna have to do math. You're right. Okay, somebody write this down. 1 foot 3 1/8 inch plus 2 7/8. Ooh, hey, that turns out to be a round number. That's 1'6" if I am not wrong. So that's 1.5 feet. Okay, it's 1.5 feet-ish. And this, whoa. Is 1'11". So that means the desk will have a little bit of overlap here, rolls down like that, will actually have enough room to slide back here without disappearing forever. Big win. this works.
Wow.
I didn't even think about that. The fact that you have to like think about geometry and stuff when you make a roll top desk.
Yikes.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to, again, I'm trying to figure out how to do this next step. So I'm going to grab this geometry right now. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to leave context and paste it. So this is basically
Math made easy by Aaron.
if there's a way to get around having to do math, I probably got you covered. And it's funny because I actually did a lot of design work, building design, truss design, worked for a component manufacturer, that sort of thing, and had to do more than a little bit of math like on the fly. But it's never been like a strong suit of mine. I will never brag on being good at doing math in my head. All right, so this is basically the profile we want to make. So I'm going to make that into a group real quick. Bring that and, oops, I got lost. Slide that in right here. Alright, so that's half my roll top. I'm definitely going to have to do something up here at the top. I have a little bit too much gap there. Granted, it's going to fill up some of this, but I feel like that gap's a little big. So I'm going to actually just do something like this.
YouTube wants to know where those trusses you designed are using math, just for future reference.
No.
Asking for a friend.
Even back then, I knew computers knew how to make math better than me, so I let the computer do the math.
Make math.
Always, that's right. You make math, I make pictures. That was the deal. That was our deal.
That's a good deal.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to now, so I have two groups. One is my roll top, one is the rest. I'm going to start by creating the handle board. Oh, so this okay, Dave's telling me that the half-assery I just did was incorrect. This should actually be a board dropping down. I will come back to that in the future. Thank you, Dave. I got worried about security, like somebody could just get right into my roll top. So I'm going to come in here and make a profile out here. It's going to come across to here. All right, so I'm now realizing as well that this groove right here, well, I guess this whole thing, that whole thing wouldn't ride inside there. So, but I'll come back to that. All right, so this is the board that has the lock in it, and the little handles will be on there. Whoops. I did not realize that this was not grouped. There we go. All right, so there is our thing that I'm going to call a handle board. I don't know if that's what it's called. Probably not, but that's going to be my handle board. All right, so the other pieces, and this is the spot I was trying to figure out how I could go about this, because I don't know if they're half round pieces, but this basically ends up being, correct me if I'm wrong, a piece of fabric, or nowadays probably something like cardboard or something like that, but a flexible piece of material that those stretcher pieces are connected to, maybe leather or something like that. That's right, trademarked, handleboard. So I think what I have to do here is create a series of those like half round pieces. So I'm thinking,
Yep, Dave agrees with you. You are correct.
fabric. Man, I'm batting 1,000 here. This is great. So how deep was my little leg here? That's 3/8 of an inch deep. So I'm gonna make this. What is this gonna look like? How wide's that? That's too big. All right, so I'm gonna take that, scale that down. What am I? I'm hitting the wrong thing here. There we go. No, you know what? Let's see. Boy, if only I knew how to do math. It'd be so easy. Actually, this is more geometry. That scares me. All right, let's do this. No, I'll still do this way. Half circle. Close it up, take that 2D shape, stretch that out to. So basically, I want to do something along the lines of that. But I need that to repeat itself along this arc. So I think what I want to do is I want to use component stringer to put this component along this line. And I want to go to maybe, say, here. So I want to copy that all the way up there. So I'm going to save. And I've done this before a couple times where I've went and grabbed an extension and installed it and tried to learn it to myself live. I'm not going to say that it went perfectly. I'll leave it there.
Near perfect, right?
Well, it depends on your definition. Near is a relative term. So I'm going to go to Extension Warehouse, and I'm going to grab component stringer. I think that's what it's called. From Chris Fulmer. And I'm going to watch the little video because, like I said, I'm pretty sure this is what I'm looking for. Yeah, because I can actually just take this, I can grab a path, I can grab a thing. Yeah, watch this. This is just going to go perfect. If you don't use Extension Warehouse, like somebody was asking earlier, you should really check it out. Spend a little bit of time there every week and just check out some of the extensions up there, because there's stuff that does things. It always amazed me how I would think that I was trying to do something that nobody had ever done before, and I was toughing it out and trying to make geometry and move things around. And then it turned out I went up to Extension Warehouse and found out that, like, lots of people do that same thing I do, and then somebody made an extension, in some case 2 or 3 extensions that do that thing, and it saves a huge amount of time. So check that out. If you're not an Extension Warehouse user, you owe it to yourself to take a look. All right, so now I know what I need to do is I need to get a path. So I'm going to break this path a little bit because I want to get this piece, this curve, and this piece. Oop. And copy that. And I can actually get rid of this. And whoops. Trying to clean up my extra geometry as I go. Nope. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to do this over on the side. Take this. Actually, I don't think I need to have them touch or anything like that. I'll take that and weld it. Go to extensions and find Chris Fulmer tools, component stringer. All right, select an arc or series of lines and the component. Oop, this, so that means I gotta take this, make component, and this is my half round thing. All right, so I should be able to go grab these, extensions, Chris Fulmer tools, component stringer. No. Okay. We're close. All right, I'm try it again. Component stringer, reverse edges. I think I still want no. Component rotation. No scaling. I think sometimes I've hit 90. Well, that rotated each one 90 degrees off the next. Also not what I want to do. There's only so many options here, so I'm going to get this right sooner or later. Still don't want to reverse edges. Scaling uniform, rotation 0. All right, so that was closer.
Dave says the axes are set wrong for the
Air, yeah.
component.
Probably, so I probably got to do something like that. Oh, Ben told me too.
Nice.
You guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for taking care of me.
Yes, Dave beat you to it, Ben.
All right, component stringer. No reversing. Scaling, none. Go. Well, that's not right either.
What next?
Yeah, there's got to be more things to try. All right. Blue axes this way. All right. Component stringer. Don't fail me now. This is gonna be it. This is gonna be it. No. Okay. Ah, son of a, so close.
Ah.
The first one's not going right. Why are the rest of them flipping? Keenan gave me an idea, but I don't understand what he's saying.
Yeah, I was gonna repeat it, but I'm not sure I know what that is.
All right, like one or two more tries. No, I don't want to reverse. No scaling. Put 90 here. Whoa, oh, that's cool. That's not what I want, but it rotated 90 degrees over the length of that. That's awesome. But still not what I want. Well, hey, like I said, pretty much told you this is how it was going to go, right? All right, so here's how I would go. You guys keep keep at it. See if you can figure that out. But this is the way I would do it manually. I grab this one, Option, click it right here, and then I would grab this and drop it down until it hits the line. Then I would grab that one, come here, rotate, bring it down to the line. So it's not, I mean, honestly, if I had started doing this when I started the download for the tool, I probably would have been done. But it's just not very much fun to watch. It's much more fun to watch me flail.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
It's a good learning moment.
Other people's pain. That's what entertainment's all about. So I do know, like I said, I've played with Component Stringer just enough to know that it can do it, but I use it so infrequently that when it's time to actually do it, it's not perfect. So, sorry. Just give me one more minute, guys. Almost done. All right, so while this is happening, let me ask you guys a question. Let's pretend for a moment it's next week. And y'all come back here because for some reason you thought you'd be able to see me suffer a little bit more. For whatever reason, you've come back for more SketchUp Live next Friday. What would make you happy to see? We're always looking for ideas. In fact, we actually started a thread on our forum called What Should We Model Friday, where we're always taking suggestions. So I know I recommend the forum a lot, but that's because there's just a lot of good information there, and it's a great way for us to keep in touch with you. You guys probably know we have a handful, like quite a large handful, lots of customers out there that we love y'all, but it's hard to keep in touch with everybody. So the ones that we hear from the most are the ones who reach out to us, and you can do that via the forum. So that's why I push it so much, is because I really like talking to you guys, and that's the easiest way for me to keep in touch with you. But having said all that to say, we do have a spot on there where you can recommend what you think would be a good thing to model. But does anybody else have any option or any thoughts while we're here on what would be a cool thing to model? Because usually we pick what's going to get modeled on Mondays. So if you guys have an idea now, we can actually take that into our meeting where we talk about content, and we can say, here's what everybody wants to see modeled on Friday. And then we can plan accordingly.
Ooh, something iconic for July 4th.
All right.
Fitting. A roller coaster. As long as we can ride on it.
I
Yeah.
definitely have to figure out Component Stringer by then, huh? Because that's like the epitome of
Right.
repeating geometry.
Ethan asked if we had ever tried copy along path extension.
That would be a great idea. Probably what I should have done.
Real versions of childhood toys. Ooh.
Ooh, like what? Go further with that. That sounds exciting.
Yeah. Nothing like Chucky, please. No scary dolls. I can't do that.
All right, so now that I got these all copied up here, I'm just gonna go into one of them. They are components, so I can grab one of these. I can pull through, hit the inside, and there is our roll top. And I'm actually gonna get rid of this. I just need this for reference, so I can delete that. And then this and this can go into a group together. And while I'm here, I'm gonna hop up here and get my my security board, also a trademark term. Let's see, that's we'll say 3/4 inch material. What did I just do? I just drew something weird. All right. 1/2 inch material. There we go. Drop that down like that. Connect that to here. And pull that all the way across. All right, there is the top of our roll top desk. Sweet. All right, at this point, I'm actually take this section right here, put it on its own layer. Call it something crafty like roll top. And that way, actually turn it on and off, make it a little bit easier to work on the inside here. All right, that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. Let's go in and throw in some of this stuff. This is the kind of stuff that I think is cool in furniture, is like little chunks that are like little tiny drawers and stuff. I think that's neat. So we're gonna do that. We're just gonna do basically what they have here. We've got a little shelf hanging down. I'm sure there's a piece of material that goes across like that. I'm assuming that there is something like, and Dave can tell me if I'm right or wrong here, I'm assuming that there's the back of the desk is like right in here. So I'm assuming it goes something like this, and that section is what that shelf is all built on. Does that sound about right to anybody who knows about desks and stuff? Didn't answer quick enough. I'm assuming yes. Okay. So I'm just gonna. Here.
Ooh, Dave just chimed in. He's a little late though.
Oh.
Said there will indeed be a panel to hide the roll top.
Right. All right. So Kara's live is monitoring the comments on the channels. I am actually seeing them through our Restream app, so I get them a little later. So she's beat me to the punch on these. All right. So I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna say something like this.
Oh, so apparently the panel is a part of the gallery inside. Good to know.
All right.
Thanks, Dave.
All right. This is something like that, which is going to give us this little nook here for our drawers. Let's see, how tall is this now? How tall do I make that? 7.5-ish. So if we go 2. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a command people don't use a lot, just because they don't know about it. But I'm just going to divide this into 3 pieces. I'm going to hit divide. I'm going to slide my mouse down like that. And that's going to give me 2 divisions right there. I made this out of 1/4 inch material, so I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to come up 0.25. I don't know if you guys ever do that, where you start to model and it draws the face on top. Anything I draw along this surface is going to close the surface in. So if I want to draw lines like I was just doing, the best way is to draw them on the back, because that's already closed. I don't have to worry about that obscuring my view. Pull that over, pull this over, and I'm going to do again, I'm going to take this, right click, and I'm going to do this one a little bit different. No, yes, no. Yeah, I am.
YouTube wants you to animate this.
Like this?
The roll top, open and close.
Yes, one could. You know, I'm still, it's still on my list of things to do to use like Fredo's animator or something like that. I just have not got to it yet. I want to, just don't really seem to have the time that I need.
Or somebody could download it from 3D Warehouse and animate it for us.
Boom.
There we
Kara's
go.
got it sorted.
Looking at you, YouTube.
See what you done did? Alright. So there I'm just making kind of the sure, fix it. Alright, so that's this section. I didn't put the drawers in yet, but just the geometry for all that. One last piece I'm going to throw in here is this little mail sorter type thing. What'd you call this, Dave? A gallery? That's
Gallery.
a collection of things. I just left context, but that's okay. Kind of. I actually want to be in there. All right, so I'm going to make this looks like it's a little bit bigger, so make this a 1/2 inch piece for this shelf right here. It does look like it comes out a little bit past, actually what it looks like it does, it kind of looks like it's actually rounded this way, maybe like this. Something like this maybe. It's kind of small, but I'm gonna say that's exactly what it looks like, and I did a perfect job of getting it.
Yep. Somebody said it's your desk, so.
I'll do what I want.
Exactly.
All right, that looks pretty cool. To just finish this up, we want these kind of sorting things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm gonna actually create those out of context because I want to create one that's a component and I can put it in here. So they're gonna come out to about here. I'm gonna go all the way up to here. Actually, I should this lid piece. Should be like that.
Group and save. Thanks, YouTube.
Whew. All right. So that's going to go vertically up to where it meets that. And then it's going to have, let's see, I don't want to do this shape. I'll say it comes down 3/4 of an inch, comes up 3/4 of an inch. Let's put an arc right here, something like that, and I'll just make that 1/4 inch thick. I'll just make that a component. Excellent. This right here, let me see, if I offset it 2 times 2, it's going to give me that. So in order for that to line up on the next one, I need a 1 inch gap here. So I'm going to draw a 1 inch line, grab this, this, and this, and move it from here back to there. Something like that. All right. Last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a drawer and just slap those in here real quick. And again, I'm absolutely cutting a corner here because I know drawers are made of a bunch of pieces of material, and I'm going to cut corners, like I said, because they're not going to be, I'm not going to actually draw the pieces that, you know, connect together, that sort of thing. I'm going to absolutely shortcut this thing. I'm going to draw the front of the drawer by drawing a rectangle out here, offsetting it to 1/8 of an inch. Same thing here, 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to grab all of that and pull it out here to work on it. All right, so this piece right now, here, this is going to come out a little bit. Just want to give it some depth. Something like that. That's the front. Beauty. And then I'm just going to grab these 3 sides, offset those in. That, offset that, how far is that down? I'm gonna hit Option Offset to create a new face and push that up 1/4 inch also. So again, not something I'm going to build off of, but enough to, well, I know it's a drawer. And how this is, so I'm going to do this too. I'm going to take this, do an Option Offset, another 1/8 inch, then grab the face, scale. I'm going to scale about the middle. Just pull that in a little bit. There we go. And I'm not going to go with these fancy pulls right here. I'm going to just create a standard round knob. That's what I was raised on. It's good enough for me. So bring it out and then offset it. Pull that out. Offset it again. Pull that out.
Dave says no dovetails.
Not this time, Dave. Not this time. I mean, I'm absolutely, I think, you know, this is what I'll say is that this, what is that? What do I have? Something's not beautiful. I don't like that. All right, I'll place this here. So I got an issue here, and we're going to fix it. I got this extra surface right here that I don't need. I also don't need this surface. Oh, and I don't need this surface. Whew. All right, so now I can get rid of my section. Sections can be used temporarily like that. Make that a component. I'm going to call this my small drawer. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to slide it in. I want to put it all the way to the back. So I'm going to use X-ray to snap it back in. Nope, at the bottom. I'm going to snap at the bottom because that's where I drew it from. And there we go. Now I can grab that. Option copy ×2. Close. A little bit of an overlap here. If I look at my X-ray, the issue, and I kind of had a feeling I was going to run into this. These outside drawers are actually just slightly bigger than the middle drawer because I evenly divided and then I added material to that division. What I should have done is I had the middle line of the divider and then I added half the material to both sides. I should have added 2/3 to one side, 1/3 to the other side. That would have given me the proper dimension there. So what I could do, let's see, what is this? This is 1/4 inch, is I could offset that 1/3 of 1/4 of an inch, which is the M word. So the other thing I could do, which I'm gonna, is make this middle drawer unique, math free, grab this geometry right here and shift it over like that, and then recenter my knob, and then I can just grab this drawer and slide it over to here, and everybody's happy again.
Ian says, quick win right there with the
That's
section plane.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the section plane, that's a good way to keep yourself from getting lost and having to dig around to find stuff too much. All right, I'm gonna grab this drawer, make a copy, stick it down here. Again, make it unique. And then what I'll do is I'll just grab all the geometry on this side, grab it here, slide it over, snap it into that corner, and then I can grab all of this, that top section, move it straight up to there, and there we go. And I can take this knob. When I move this knob, I want to move it by the top of this circle, because that's me centered, and bring it over here, and I could actually just align it even with this centerpiece right here. All right, so there we go. That's looking pretty cool, and I'm going to go so far as to call that done. Oh, not done yet. Hold on. I'm going to copy that knob because I like it so much, and I'm going to stick that onto our roll top geometry. Maybe I'll scale that up a little bit. Looks a little puny. Yeah, we'll center it vertically by grabbing the edge and align that to the middle snap point there. And we'll actually make it a little bit deeper too. All right, something like that. All right, so that half of the top looks pretty solid. What I might do is before I copy it over, I might come into these different pieces and delete the end geometry, because it's going to make it easier for me to join that geometry together once I actually copy that half and put it over where the other piece is. So if I do that now, I can delete the lines, but it'll be a little bit easier to clean up there. In fact, I don't even have to delete. In most cases, I can just select and soften. But there I'm going to take all of this. Whoops, these are totally out of context. Oops. All right, so I'm going to grab my drawers, my sorters, cut them, double click in here. Oops, this should all be. And edit, paste in place, because I do them outside of context. But now, I'm going to come in here, I can grab just this top section, make a copy, scale it to -1, or flip along red axes, because that's the thing I've learned how to do now. And I'll take that from this point right here, snap it to this point right here. And this is where I was saying what I could do now is actually, well, this is up to you. This depends on how much I want to actually keep everything separate. What I'd probably do is come in here and grab these one piece at a time. So maybe I'll take both my roll tops, merge those together into a group, and then go inside here, explode these two groups, and actually take these two, make into a group, go into that, take these two, explode, and that's when I can clean up that geometry there. It really, at this point, it comes down to how much you want to keep those pieces separate, or if you're okay with merging stuff together right now. Since this is all out in its own group, the roll top piece, which is actually on its own visibility layer, rather than individually taking these two pieces and putting them together, I'm just going to take both of these, make a group of them, go in here, explode those, and then, oh no, here's what I'm going to do. We just got excited. I'm going to take that, get rid of it, and I'm just going to grab all these. Just use scale to pull those through to there. Oh, that's better than having to merge all the geometry together. Yeah, baby, that looks good. All right, so if I look at this one right here, same thing here. Basically, these two pieces have to join together. Just grab them, put them into a separate group, go into that group then, explode these two. And when you explode it, the geometry comes to the same context and joins together. So that's a question of just deleting like this. In a lot of cases, you can do something like, maybe I'll grab this geometry, go to extensions, and use cleanup, and click on merge faces. What that'll do is anytime it sees a collinear plane, two planes that occupy the same or go in the same direction, just gets rid of the lines between them. So easy cleanup there. There's our whole top. And I can grab these two, make group, go into that group, same thing, select these two pieces, explode them, grab the overlapping geometry. I don't have to do it to all of it. I could, but cleanup's going to run this on whatever geometry is selected, so to speed the process up, I'm just selecting the overlapping geometry and merging faces. All right, so there we go. There's our roll top. Look, it's animating.
Woo!
If you blink at the right time, you can actually see it move.
There you go, YouTube.
I did it. All right. Okie doke. Let's go ahead and, what time is it? 3 o'clock. All right, so we got about half an hour left. We can get this bottom section looking like something. That's not a vague promise. I don't know what is. All right, so I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna put a foot on here that's, we'll say 3 inches tall. All right, I'm gonna pull that out 1/4 inch. Like that. And actually, I'm assuming we're gonna take that around this side too. So I'll pull that out also. And then over here, this is kind of cool because it looks like what we got is a little bit of a offset thingy here. So I'm going to offset this. Yeah, we'll do 1 inch. Do the same thing here. Now, those of you who are astute at noticing huge differences in geometry will notice that there's a 2-inch piece here as opposed to a 1-inch piece here, because what I did is just I cut it in half and then offset both sides. So what I can do now is I can just take this and I can scoot it over 0.5 and then grab this one, scoot it over 0.5, and that gives me the same geometry there. I can just take that, I'm gonna set that in 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, and give me that look. I could, I guess, I could actually grab this profile. Easy place to grab that from. I grab that profile and actually put that in here. Let's do that. That'll be a fun thing to do. So actually offset that 5/16. So we'll do that same exact offset. All right, here's something I did. I don't actually have the profile for this anymore. So what I'm going to do real quick is just draw a plane to intersect with that.
Everyone's saying you better save, don't forget.
You guys are so scared all the time.
So responsible.
Thanks for being adults. I'm going to intersect just this plane, intersect faces with model, and then what that does, double click, and cut that, and now I can come out here into this context, paste it back in, and I've got my little profile there.
It looks like some of our top fans may have already started happy hour.
Woo! Good job, guys. Way to get ahead of it. All right, so then I can take that. There's what I'm looking for. And put that right in here. And because I got two of them, option copy over to here. And now I can click this surface, follow me, my profile. Whoops. Uh-oh, guess what came unwelded? Re-weld that. There we go. Now, follow me, click there. Same profile. That really ties the desk together. All right, grab those lines. Extension and weld. Whoops, too much deleting. Follow me with that. All right, that's that. What was this? Let's clean my desk off real quick. All right, it's looking good. All right, keep going here. Whoops. Throw some drawers in here. It does look like this is offset and inset, so I'm going to take this and start by offsetting that a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to push that back in a 1/2 inch. Something like that. And then I can actually put my drawers inside of there. 1, 2, 3, 4 drawers. So I'm going to divide that into 4 pieces. All right, so if I was to that's what I got right now. I want to evenly space these this time. All right, so what I would do here, because I want my drawers to line up right, I'm going to offset this a 1/2 inch. There's quite a bit of space between these, so but not so much at the top. So I kind of feel like that's what I want to do. I'm going to pull those back. That, and I'm going to repurpose one of these drawers. Copy that. All right, I'm going to put this, right now I'm going to line it up right here. And we are going to significantly distort this geometry now. I do need to see the rest of the model. So grab this section right here, push that into the inside here. Why are you not snapping? There we go. And now to, what happened here? I did something wrong. Not sure what I did wrong. I'm gonna go back to the source. I'm gonna grab the first one I made. All right, I'm gonna take that one. That's the one I want. I picked the wrong one last time. This is what I need. All right, I'm gonna go into this one. I'm gonna grab this section on the side, pull that over to the corner, and then I'm going to bring, so I gotta figure out how much, what's this overlap here? This is 1/8 of an inch, so I go here up 1/8 of an inch. That's where I want the top of this line to be, so I'm going to do the face of the drawer first. Grab just the top geometry and move it upward to, I'm having some snapping issues. What's the deal with the snapping? All right, why are you being like this? It's because it's Friday afternoon.
Exactly.
SketchUp is done. There we go.
SketchUp's on happy hour.
And then I'm just going to pull this up shy of the top. All right, and now I'm sticking with the knob. I know it's going to look a little odd on this. Actually, yeah, no, I'm going to do it. I don't care. I don't even care what anybody says. I don't care. All right, so I'm going to move it, line it up horizontally, line it up vertically. And the other thing we could do actually is probably make this a little bit deeper. All right, and now we can take that and slide it back to here.
Everyone's saying to scale it and that there's an extension for that.
Yeah, I'm definitely noticing too that this is not, the geometry is a little small for those tiny drawers, so we're going to do something about that. I'm not going to just monolithically scale though, because I want to, oops. I didn't grab my, I'm going to take these pieces that are on the bevel space and outwards and scoot them out a little bit. Let's give me a little bit of depth there. And now I'm going to take these pieces off and use move to slide this out a little bit further, like that. A little bit bigger. Yeah, scale the knob up. Back recentered. Where's center at? Right there. Center that vertically. Right there. That looks better.
Nice.
All right. I'll take that then, and I'm going to turn on X-ray and use my. Yeah. Okay, so these could end up getting a little bit deeper. So there's my 3 drawers. All right, and we need one more drawer. That's here on the inside. I'm going to go ahead and copy this over since that middle drawer spans the whole outside. I'm going to take all of this and all of these, copy them over, invert that, and then snap it back together. All right, then I can take these 2 pieces, make them into a new group, again like I did before, go into that group and explode those 2. So right now there actually is a surface between these 2. So when it has 2 pieces like that, it doesn't get rid of that when it joins it. It just joins the geometry. So I have an interior surface. deleting one of these lines will get rid of that surface, but obviously I still have to go in and get rid of these other lines. And this is where, like I said, because of all these pieces right here, I would use cleanup to merge faces. All right, our desk is all. How come nobody told me I was doing something stupid? This right here was a component. So.
Somebody did mention that a little while back. They said component question mark?
Was it a component, Keenan says? Yes, it was.
Good job, Keenan.
All right, so I'm not sure if all of you are aware, but SketchUp houses 100 undo steps. So the question right now is, did we do more than 100 steps since we copied the initial component down and didn't hit make unique? I'm going to select one of these drawers and I'm going to copy it. Control C. Now I'm going to start undoing. Geometry disappears, geometry modifies, geometry goes back to normal. Okay.
Phew.
Whew. All right. Get out of here. And now I can say edit, paste in place to stick that drawer I created back in there. Good times.
Minor details.
See, this is where hopefully my pain helps you learn. All right, let's go ahead. While we're here, I'm just going to go ahead and grab this geometry and make this drawer a little deeper. Ooh, that's a super deep drawer. All right. And now I can grab this drawer.
Another quick win.
Option, copy, option. Look how quick that was. That was such a... All right. And because I learned it last time I did it, I can just delete this surface out first. And I can grab all of this, option copy, right click, flip along green direction, then go grab it by an end point. Look right there. Just like I did before, select, make group, click into the group, explode, and then just to make it simple, we'll grab this and merge faces. Whew. How about that? That was really something.
Very stressful.
Oh. Oh, that's not what I'm not going for stress. Total enjoyment. All right. Last couple steps here. We do need a back on here. So I'm going to come in here and let's see. I forgot how deep I made this little 1/4 inch. So pull that out, another 1/4 inch. All right, and got that in there. Now I have basically a little, is there a term for this little shelf thing? I assume it's some kind of reinforcement, or maybe it's just for where you can rest your feet, but this little shelf thing in here, apparently it's called a save. Oh no, I should save. Save. Does anybody know this, like, for real? What is this thing for? What is this? I did not make it high enough, but I had a desk that had one of these once, and honestly, I didn't care for it. As far as I could tell, it was primarily for putting character features into your shins, because I injured myself on it a lot. Again, it's for cats. Guys, I don't have cats, so this helps me not. All right, one last drawer. All right. Oops. Actually, I'll drop that down another 1/2 inch. All right, so there's where my center drawer is going to go. I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to make it unique before I edit it, because that sounds like a thing a smart person would do.
That's what Dave said.
Oh boy. Sometimes I like to blame that sort of thing on it being Friday, because it is Friday. But I can't always say that's what's going on. Sometimes stupid happens. All right, I'm gonna grab this face and this face, and I'm gonna bring them across to no, I'm not. First, I'm gonna get the face of the drawer where it needs to be, because that way the inside drawer is connected to the face of the drawer. So if I just get this where it needs to be first, I'm good. So if I come this way, what did I do that? What was my offset there again? I already forgot. 1/8 of an inch? Woo, help. 1/8 inch, okay. So I need this to come out to 1/8 of an inch. I'll pull it out to here. Start with that. Here, just grab this face and this face. It's really the only pieces I gotta move. And that's gonna come out to there. And then at the top, this piece and this piece need to drop to here. All right, I can get rid of these lines that I put in just for temporary dimensions. And this is where people ask all the time about putting guides in. Absolutely, guides are great because they're actually non-destructive and they won't wreck your geometry like what I just did. I just don't, I've never been a big guide user. I'm trying. I'm trying to add that to my repertoire of things, along with like flip along. You don't have to always scale to -1. You can use flip along. But like I said, I don't know. I've never used it. Used guides. There's definitely a part of them that's nice though. All right, I'm now going to grab this, put this in the middle. Where is the middle? Vertically to the middle as well. And then I can take this drawer and push it in. I think I'm there. Oh, let's just close the top. I think we did a roll top desk, guys.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's most of it. That was turned out pretty all right. It's definitely a roll top desk. I could totally tell. Yeah, I'm telling you, I can totally tell. I can see the animation happening. So something to point out, we do still have this match. Let's do it. Let's compare this to the match photo real quick. I don't feel so bad about that. It's not terrible.
That's pretty good.
Again, there was some distortion in the original image. I was able to identify that, but yeah, that's not too bad. If you do have a job where you do a match photo at the beginning, the way to get rid of it, I just point this out because many people have asked, is just to delete the scene. So right here, if we come into match photo in our UI, it's going to tell us that we do have one in there right now. We go to it, we can actually manipulate that, but if I just right click and I delete that scene, our match photo is gone. So when it comes time to get rid of it, that's how I take care of it. Same with our little reference photo in the upper left corner. I can just go to Styles, Watermarks, select it, hit minus, and we're back to just a nice, clean SketchUp model of our roll top desk. Roll top. Awesome. Yeah, I saw that. You're right. It did actually have kind of a panel in here on the inside. What I'm wondering, what I was thinking might be kind of cool to do. All right, I'm going to do something like this. Click there. How do I select all this easily? If I go like this, I'm going to get a whole bunch of extra stuff all the way through the building, or through the model. Here's what I'm going to do. What I want to try to do is grab just this one panel, all the pieces around, and then copy it from this corner and drop it right here to see if I can do just one inset panel on the inside. The problem is I can't do something simple like this and grab because, gotta get into context. If I do that, all the stuff on the backside lights up, right? Same thing, I can't grab it just this way because if I grab it like this, in context, nope. I get too much. Actually, this is probably the easier way to do it. I'll grab it from that side and then I will come in with my Shift Alt button turned on, which is a minus key, and just come in and minus select everything. Narrow down my selection. Now, the way to check, ooh, you almost snuck away from me. You almost tricked me. The way to check and see if you have everything in a non-destructive way is to go into move command, hit your modifier key to copy, and make a copy of it. Then you can actually pull it away from the model and see if you're dragging extra geometry. In this case, it looks like I got away clean. So I'm going to put it right here because I don't want to have to copy it again. I don't want to pull it out of the model again. So now that I have my one copy, I can just take that, copy it in here, drop it right like that. Oops. I can delete this panel, and I have that in there. Ooh, it goes too high. Undo. Undo. All right, so let's make a modification real quick. So put this right here. I'm going to take this geometry at the top, drop it down inside like that, and now I can take it, option copy, stick it right there. I have to force that cut. There we go. That's all it was. Get rid of this. And then take this. I can flip along the green direction. And I can put it on the other side of the inside. Like that. Again, for whatever reason, the geometry didn't cut, but I can trace one side of it to force that cut. And there we go. I know it looked like there was 2 panels, but I got a thing going on here with this my cat shelf. So I'm only gonna inset one section there. All right. So with that, kind of think we're done this week. Yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that, learned something. Hopefully it was worth your investment of your Friday afternoon, evening, in some cases early Saturday mornings. But yeah, we did it. We made some furniture. We made this, and here, let's save it, and I'm gonna go import our other model. Here's what we actually did. We did more than just one thing. We were very productive. That is what our afternoon of furniture modeling looks like. So, like I said, hopefully that was good, worth your time, worth your investment. Thank you guys for swinging by and hanging out. It means a ton that everybody keeps coming back. And not just coming back, we're growing. I don't know if you guys know this, but we're getting to be more and more people are showing up for this every week. So we got to keep the ideas coming. Keep letting us know of things you think we should make. We can throw them on here, throw comments up. We'll leave the stream. We'll stop the stream here in a few minutes, but we'll keep it running so you can leave comments still. So if you have some ideas of cool things you'd like to see modeled, let us know. Otherwise, like I said, hop over to the forums and let us know in that What Should We Model on Friday thread if you have some good ideas of some cool stuff to show. And it can be specific workflows. It can be exact models you want to see. Whatever you guys want to see. Tell us what you think would be good. But other than that, yeah, you guys have a great weekend. I'll run through and see if there's any last-minute questions that are coming up. Mostly tell me what I did wrong. What I did wrong. Good, that helps. I'm kidding.
Somebody wanted to know about field of view value.
Yeah, so what field of view does is very similar to a camera. It is part of the camera tools. It lets you, warp how distorted that field of view is. Generally speaking, so the default for perspective view is about 35 degrees. And this usually gives a good fading off into the distance kind of thing. If you drop down closer to 0, then you're getting closer to that parallel projection view. 1 is as low as you can go while you're in perspective. Parallel projection is actually 0. But you can see as you increase or decrease that view, you can actually go pretty far and seriously distort your models. Field of view is a great tool for matching the look of a photo. So if I created a model of this desk and I want it to look just like it did in the photo, I can use my field of view to kind of match up there. The place that I see field of view being the most useful is if you have to do images of inside buildings. 35 can end up being kind of narrow, where like if you're standing inside of a room looking across the room, all you can see is the opposite corner. But with field of view, you can actually play with that and distort it so you can see more of the room from that same vantage point. Because sometimes you can't move farther back in a room. You hit the back wall and you're there. But field of view will let you kind of see more from the same location. Yes, 1 is as low as you can go unless you go to 0. That is true. But if you're in here in perspective view, 1 is the farthest one you can go down to. If you go to perspective, that's when it actually drops to 0. And see, field of view doesn't actually change when you're in parallel projection. I'll go back to 35 because it's making me nauseous. Awesome. Well, thank you all for swinging by. Like I said, leave a comment if you think of something cool, or join us in the forums and we'll talk about stuff. And keep an eye out, because I think we're going to do something fun, a contest or something like that with this couch. And maybe the roll top too. We'll just have to see. I don't know. We're making this up as we go. So something will happen somewhere, maybe. I don't know. All right. Well, thanks, guys. And I will see you next Friday.
See you later.